off around 5:45. Bank of America, sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals locally and globally. More at bankofamerica.com/game changers.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760. I am back. We are celebrating my birthday. I know Alan has a lot of plans today on the show. I'm sure there'll be a lot of mystery guests over the next 3 hours.
3:30, 4. What time, Brett? Do you have somebody at 4:30?
6:05.
6:05, 8:30.
You got all the MSG guests lined up, right? You have everything.
Bro, I'm just telling, don't worry about anything.
Is Manny calling?
Spikes on at 5:30.
Spikes on. Is Manny going to call in, or is he mad at what we've been saying?
Machado's coming in studio.
He's going to come in studio.
Why would he show up to the game?
Because he could just join us here in studio. He'll
Show up a
probably
little bit
record
later.
the same number of hits regardless of where he is later today. All right, that's
something ruthless was happening right there.
There is a lot to react to. I haven't been here for a week. First of all, shout out to you and Brent for somehow making it through last week. I apologize because every single time Alan texted me last week,
the best,
I did not reply immediately. But the reason I didn't, and I'm always by my phone.
But there was so just to give some background, if I go live on YouTube, I have to through a website we use called StreamYard.
Yep.
So I'm basically logging in through you, and the only way I can go live is if you text me back a code. And every time I'd hit John up,
I wouldn't text him back.
Just be crickets.
Well,
I'm like,
all right,
in my head, I'm like, okay, we're just not going live on YouTube.
Here's the thing I didn't consider. I was on the East Coast and you were on the West Coast, and having a 7-year-old at 5 to 6 p.m. hour was like dinner hour.
Okay.
So, and we also had friends out there from his school, and we were like at dinner with people. And then my like mind would race, like, oh my gosh, I bet Alan is texting. And I would see my phone. And then the first day, I think it was Monday, I got a call from you. I got a text or a call from Brent. Nobody could hear the show.
I'm
like, dude, welcome to the history of this like YouTube stream. There have been a number of issues over the years on this YouTube stream.
There was one thing I just had to do, which I didn't freaking do. There is something about, you start a show. Obviously, we're doing this live on radio. It's on the iHeartRadio app. But if YouTube's not working,
you start panicking.
All you just see in the comments, can't hear you, bro.
Can't hear you. It's not working. What's the deal? Someone figure this out. Alan, nobody can hear you.
I'm like, Brent, everything good over there? He's like, I got no idea. We recovered.
Here's how I know you did an amazing job. Because by and large, the only issues that were experienced are what I heard from with no audio for the first segment of the first show.
Yeah.
And then like, yo, dude, can you send me this code? I'm about to go on the air. So I know you did an incredible job. It is good to be back. I literally, when it comes to the Padres, and by the way, we've got a great giveaway for you this hour. One of our best giveaways, I would say, of the year is tickets to a sold-out Chris Stapleton show on July 11th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. I would love to go to that. I'm a huge Chris Stapleton fan, huge country music fan. We have Chris Stapleton tickets, July 11th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Here's how to win. And of course, it has to do with the Padres. You got to hit us up on the talkback mic this hour. By doing that, you're eligible to win. This is the only question you need to answer. Who do you blame more, Fernando Tatis Jr. or Manny Machado? Just a general question. Who are you blaming more right now, Fernando Tatis Jr. or Manny Machado? Open the iHeartRadio app. It's free. Search for 760. Click the red talkback mic. Do it this hour. We'll play some of those on air. And one of you that does it this hour is walking away with a pair of tickets to see Chris Stapleton.
So I go basically away, trying to give the blame to one of these two guys.
Here's the thing. I go away, dude, for a week. I think I left actually last Friday. I took a red eye and I came back last night. All the Padres did was lose. It just kept going further south.
They had one W. I think 11 of 13 now, but they had one W since you were gone.
That was 10
one win since they were gone, and it was against the Nationals, who took 2 or 3.
And I'm sitting there yesterday, Alan, watching the entire game on a flight from Newark to San Diego. It was amazing.
So you like really analyze it. Yeah.
I watched the entire game, and I couldn't have been more frustrated to the point that all I was doing after the game was tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. And there's just so many different layers to it. And last night, I was just so upset at Fernando Tatis Jr., the specific circumstance. He gets thrown out at third, trying to steal a base in a 2-run game. The tying runs at the plate in the 5th inning. Ty France, they had just gotten a home run from Freddie Fermin. And Tatis inexplicably makes the final out at third. This on the heels of inexplicably last week making the final out at third, and so on and so forth. And it's just, for me, it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to lose in the manner in which they're losing. And I think I feel a lot of the way the Padres fans feel. I'm just fed up with the way they're playing right now. It's very frustrating.
Let's go back to that Tatis play that you mentioned. And listen, when your certain plays get amplified when you can't win a game, certain plays get amplified when you can't score, certain plays get amplified when you're just having the offensive struggles that you are. I'll go back a week ago, because the frustration you had about yesterday, I don't know. For me, I guess it's just I'm getting to a point where I'm expecting L's. Something pathetic on Saturday when they won. I actually got excited, and I'm like, hey, maybe they could take 2 or 3 from the Mets, and maybe this is going to churn.
Yeah.
And that obviously didn't happen. Do you remember when they're playing the Nationals and the way they lost? I think it was the Sunday game. They played a Sunday game. So this was a little bit over a week ago. I'll tell you why I'm going back to this. They're down 2 runs. They're down 4-2. They do a hit and run in the 8th and the 9th. Okay?
Yeah, I kind of remember this.
Both times, the runner is caught stealing, and both times, the batter is holding, just doesn't even bother swinging, caught looking on both. So it's basically you call it a double play in the 8th, double play in the 9th. That's how the game ends. So it's like you're down 4-2. What does that run on second even matter? Like, is the run on second that big of a deal? You're down 2 runs anyways. Time runs at the plate. Let's just give this dude an opportunity. They play like, I hate to, but I'm going to put it this way because you were talking about Tatis. They have a lot of questionable decisions, if I can go about it that way. Maybe dumb decisions is how I would describe it. But some of the frustration that I think you were sharing yesterday with a lot of Padre fans, brother, you kind of just start getting to them. I don't even have an emotion. It's like I expect them. They started the game yesterday, 2 on, nobody out.
Didn't score.
Yeah. So I think
back to back, walk, don't score.
Walk, double play, strikeout.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't. Here's the problem. If we're expecting that to happen, and I think a lot of people feel the way you feel, and we'll hear from Craig Stammen on this. And I think one of the questions coming out of all of this is like, is Craig Stammen able to effectively manage the players that he was once teammates with, like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado? But if our expectation is, well, they just have no offensive identity, they're just going to come up short and small, who's that reflective on? And what are we going to do about it? We're just going to say, well, it's all going south now. This wasn't sustainable. It's not going to be a very good year. Is that where we are right now with this team? Like, I still have hopes. I don't know what my expectations are, but I'm not willing to say what's happened over these 13 games is what's going to play out over the next 98 games. But I am willing to say, like, now is the time to go under the microscope and fix this, because you get any later than this in the National League, I just think it's going to get more and more challenging. Like this series against the Reds, they've lost 4 straight and 8 of 10 coming in. Cincinnati, this is not another one of those series where you want to look up in 3 days and be, well, drop 2 out of 3 to the Reds. At some point, you need to turn the ship around before it's too late, which I think they still can do.
It's snowballing. That's the problem. I think that, you know, I'd love to sit here and tell you that, I mean, it's snowballing to, I think, a perspective where, like I said, my confidence level right now on the San Diego Padres, like many other Padre fans, there's this, I hate this. I have a text chain with a couple of buddies. That's a very like active text chain.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to talking Padres baseball. It's dead the last week. It's dead. And it's dead. Good. It's dead because there's just like this emotion. You're like, I don't even know how to get rid of some of this emotion. The Stammen thing that you mentioned, the Stammen responding to the Tatis, the play with Tatis, you know, and you were asking the question of like, hey, does this guy, can a former player, a former teammate, some of these guys, can he kind of get to some of the players and everything else? We have that sound? Do we have that sound? The Stammen sound on him talking about Tatis and him supporting
stealing?
Yeah, I mean, we want to do it right now. You want to do it later, but this to me, I think probably took my frustration to another level. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, unfortunately, it got thrown out, but we preach being aggressive and trying to push the limits, and I'm not going to crucify anybody for making a mistake.
But what is the line between aggressiveness and recklessness, and are we approaching that with that? Because he has been caught 7 times.
Yeah, he has been caught 7 times, and we're continually coaching him on the right times to go and the wrong times to go. And sometimes, it's a 50-50 shot. But I like him taking the chance and being aggressive and trying to make something happen.
Was that a right or wrong time to go?
When Toddy goes, I think it's always the right time to go. I'll have his back no matter what. And I believe in that kid. That kid, when he's going like that, we go. And he's trying to create some offense for us, and I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. Wrong answer.
Yeah, I know.
That's not the right answer. When Tatis makes a decision to go, that's the right time to go. No, it's not. And Tatis has shown a number of – there's a way to get your point. You know what I'd love to hear Stammen say yesterday? That specific time, no, I don't think was a right time to go. Yes, there are times we want him to be aggressive. In that specific instance, no, I wasn't crazy about it.
I mean, just the risk-reward proposition. You're trailing by 2. Ty France at the plate. You're actually rallying in this inning.
Brother, there's no explanation.
That's why that's homered. That's everything that Craig Stammen said there. It actually does. It gets me fired up. And Craig Stammen was put in this position by the front office. I think he's done a fine job. Honestly, I'm not calling out Craig Stammen or calling for his job. I'll call him out right now. The issue I have with it is that that's inexcusable. That's not aggressiveness. It's egregious. What is the value of third base at the expense of that out? That risk proposition, there's no proposition to be had. There's no reason to ever run in that spot. And yeah, maybe you don't want to call him out publicly to the media there, but that answer to me, I'm always going to side with that kid. You played with him. He was a star when you were on the team. You were a middle reliever. That goes back to my point from 10 minutes ago. How do you manage someone that you've been so closely tied to for the last 7 or 8 years? How can you hold that player accountable if you're Craig Stammen? I don't think I could do it. I don't know how Craig Stammen's supposed to do it.
That's his job. Like, I think there's I get the, by the way, then don't hire him. If your concern is, I got an issue, I'll go back to something. This was early on in the season. Remember, there was a time early in the season we played a clip from Heath Bell. Heath Bell was on with Darren and Marty, and Heath Bell was questioning the decision to hire Stammen, not because this guy can't be a good manager, but it was this kind of is he going to be too buddy with some of the players that he had relationships with? And if that is the case, there's got to be kind of a little bit of a balance here. Look, I'm the boss, I'm the manager, however you want to put it. As long as you guys got my respect, maybe my relationship's a little bit unique. It's different. Maybe I don't have to be an old school manager, but I just go back to just that clip right there. We got to be honest with each other. And listen, Padres are still going to lose that game. They are. They just, I'm sorry, they are.
I mean, but we'll never really know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
They obviously didn't do themselves any favors. They lost the game 7-3. I'm not going to go identify one play in that game last night or that game in the afternoon and say, well, if this would have changed, this would have happened. But it just kind of adds to, there is some, it's like there are decisions that are being made that, in my just being blunt opinion, they're idiotic decisions at time. You already don't have a team that has margin for error. You already have a team that struggles to put together any good offense, that has productive outs, that have guys that can hit home runs. You can't just, like, you also can't lose the battle of making poor decisions.
They're not good enough to throw outs away on the bases routinely. How, for the second time in a week, is Fernando Tatis Jr. It's actually the third time in a week going through this. How are we saying when they're playing the Phillies and there's a ground ball to third, and he inadvertently tries to go from first to third when the third baseman, Alec Boehm, eats a ball? There was no play at first. He ends it at third. And 3 days later, we're having the same conversation. Like, you have to hold this player accountable. And Craig Stammen, based on that answer we just heard, is not necessarily capable right now of doing that. Let's discuss it more on the other side.
That's more concerning probably than anything else.
We'd love to hear from you. Talkback mic is open. Are you putting more of this on Machado right now or Tatis? Open up the iHeartRadio app, search for 760, click the talkback mic to be eligible to win Chris Stapleton tickets. Kevin Acey will join us at 5. Stay with us. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Kevin Acey will join us coming up at 5 p.m. John Sadak, voice of the Reds in town, will join us coming up at 4 p.m. We remind you, hit up the talkback mic. Yeah, what's the showdown? Reds and Padres.
Yeah, showdown.
A couple of teams that are heading towards the floor, not
heading
in
the same direction.
They're heading in the exact same direction. That's the problem. And here's the other problem. Only one team is winning the series.
It's going to be a tie in the 11th.
It's going to be the Padres. It better be the Padres. Before you do the read, we're asking people to open up the talkback mic. Just open the iHeartRadio app.
Yep.
Search for 760. Click the red microphone icon. Tell us who you're blaming more right now. Is it Fernando Tatis Jr. or Manny Machado for this team's struggles? They've lost 11 of 13. Just by doing that, you're eligible to win 2 free tickets to see Chris Stapleton here in San Diego this July. We'll announce the winner coming up later this hour. What do you have?
By the way, if I did that, might be throwing Stammen in the mix on that one as well. America's turning 250, and San Diego Sports 760 is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you can take the ultimate American getaway and visit the state, cities, landmarks, and national parks that make our country amazing. Win your share of $250,000. Just listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win is coming up after 5 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
By the way, if you want to weigh in on this, like the Padres struggles, your frustrations, if you just want to vent, call us, 877-767-4760. We'll get to Dave in 30 seconds, but 877-767-4760. The reason you used a word that, you know what, I'll follow up on. Like you said, like some of this stuff, it's not just like questionable, it's just flat out stupid.
Idiotic.
Right?
I genuinely mean that.
Some of the Tatis stuff, listen, I mean, I'm coming from a place, and you are as well. Like, I've been a long time Tatis supporter and fan. This guy was brilliant coming up. But, like, I got to question a lot of what is going on with him in general, whether it's the slug, the just relative, like just cluelessness with some of the stuff. It's like the baseball IQ of it all. It's so frustrating.
Could I just throw this out there? Could they be telling him, like, look, we're so desperate for runs. We're so desperate for something to maybe spark this team.
Go create something.
He probably has every green light that you can possibly think of, because there are no solutions at the plate. So is there a little bit of this? And then I'd go back to Craig Stammen and say, yeah, okay, why don't you reel these guys in a little bit? Like, you can't give away outs. It's the same thing that we've talked about last week when you were gone. They went through a stretch. What was I supposed to get mad at them because on Tuesday Estrada gave up a run, and on Wednesday Jason Adam finally gave up
runs,
and then on Thursday
gradually
Maury Hone gives up a run. But like, the margin of error for everybody because of their offense, because of their bats, because of their big names, it's so slim. Is there a piece of this where they're telling Tatis, hey, if you read something or if you feel something, do your thing? I'm okay with that. Unless you start making mistakes through the season where you're like, yeah, we got to stop doing that because you are now hurting us from scoring that run, or the decisions that you're making are just not smart enough.
I mean, if coaching somehow played a role in his decision to run there, because there was a quote last night from Jeff Sanders in the UT that was fascinating to me. I never posted on social, but it was something about the idea of like, why'd you run? He was like, well, it was just the plan, me and the team. I'm like, if anything, if you're bringing coaching into this, if this came from the bench, that makes this 1,000 times worse.
They give him the signal, like, hey, do your thing.
It's a 2-run game. There's 2 outs. No, this is France at the plate.
There's nothing.
It's so much worse. If anything, there should be a red light there. To your point, maybe you typically have the green light. You cannot run that.
Not in this situation.
Not in this spot. Yeah. Let's go to the phones. 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in. Dave's been patient. He's back with us here on Schaefer and Sleewa. Dave, thanks for calling in, man.
Well, John, I watched you last night come absolutely unglued on the wrap up, and I was and I was thinking, man, where in the hell is Jim Russell when we need him? So, but nonetheless, I was with you in spirit, and I just wished that you had a call-in ability because it would have absolutely set the world on fire last night. Let me just say, give me a minute here.
Sure.
I'm going to take this a little bit different direction. Number one, I don't understand why the man at the top that's made all of these decisions continues to be treated like Teflon. This is his manager. This is his team. And the outcome that you're currently seeing with the cemented contracts, the constant underperformance, has always been there. And so you've got a general manager on a treadmill going to the recycling bin to make up for the mistakes that he makes in the offseason. That's number one. That's where the first light needs to be shined. You can't let this continue. And that ownership is going to face a crisis at some point, because the fans are going to get hip to this at some point. When they figure out that there's no longer a World Series coming at the end of the rainbow here, which is dried up, what do you think is going to happen to that attendance? That's number one. Number two, to be fair, look, they in fact have succumbed a lot of injuries. Your two big stud pitchers, gone. Pivetta, Musgrove, gone. You lost your left fielder, gone. The left side of your infield, you need rocking chairs for these guys now because they have aged quickly, and it shows. You've got your guy that was supposed to be your future power hitter that's turned into a pop gun threat. I mean, I heard this morning, and I'll finish up with this, from your competitor down the radio dial. Oh, yeah, other teams, they fear Jackson Merrill. They fear Manny. They fear... Are you kidding me? They fear 170?
Dave, appreciate these we're up against it. Thank you for calling in. I agree with Dave. I mean, there is no fear this lineup is putting forth at all to the opposition. Watch the games. Look at the way the Padres are going down basically in order each and every inning.
Let's not be disrespectful to the word World Series. That and Padres in a sentence. Let's not even. Again, I want to be respectful to the phrase World Series. Let's not put that in a conversation with the Padres. You can't today, obviously.
Kevin Acey with much more coming up at 5 p.m. John Sadak, voice of the Reds, at 4 p.m. We'll get your calls on the other side as well. 877-767-4760. And get your talkbacks in. Who are you blaming, Manny or Toddy or someone else? Open the app, search for 760, click on the red talkback mic. We'll announce a winner of Chris Stapleton tickets for anyone that uses the talkback mic this hour. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. The Padres and Reds are getting set for game 1 of their series tonight downtown at Petco Park. It's going to be Andrew Abbott going for the Reds and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. We got NBA Finals Game 3 tonight from MSG. Spurs Knicks. They're going to tip that off after 5:30. With NBA time, will probably be closer to 5:45. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals at $4, $6, and $8. Pick one of the new Biggie Deals you're craving. For a pretty Biggie deal, got to be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
All right, John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, will join us at 4 p.m. We work together in the minor leagues. He's in the major leagues. I'm here with you on 760. Good to be with you this afternoon. Schaefer and Sliwa. And Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, will join us coming up at 5 p.m. Remember, if you want to be eligible to win Chris Stapleton tickets for July 11th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, an amazing giveaway. Chris Stapleton is an incredible country artist. Incredible. If you want to be eligible to win those 2 tickets, open the iHeartRadio app. Search for 760, click the red talkback mic. Just by doing that, you're eligible. We'll announce a winner this hour. We're asking you right now, who do you blame more for these struggles, Tatis or Manny? This came off our talkback mic earlier this hour.
You have to blame the Padres' recent struggles on Manny Machado. He's hitting 169 with 11 home runs, which is much better than Fernando Tatis. But Tatis, he's hitting 273. He's at the top of the order. And as far as I know, the team goes as Manny goes. And so far, it speaks for itself. The Padres continue to lose as Manny has struggled with his batting average. Let's see if they can.
All right, that was off the talkback mic. If you want to be eligible for the Chris Stapleton tickets, you can use the talkback mic as well.
Why did he drop himself? He dropped himself.
He's just like mic drop, talkback mic drop.
But you can't
have 30.
You can't drop your mic when you're not done with your point.
If you had to say Toddy or Manny right now, I'm blaming one of them more than the other. Who am I blaming more?
It's a tough one for me. Listen, I'll give you an answer. I'll lean more towards Machado.
Okay.
But, I hate, in baseball is the one sport where it's like, this can't be on one dude's shoulders. So, but if I had to, because I feel like I want to distribute my frustration towards 7-8 guys rather than including AJ Preller, including Craig Stammen, including
Steven Souza and Jackson Merrill.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot. But if I got to put some of the stuff that Machado has said, I haven't been crazy about, even though I think he's taken a lot of blame and he's taken responsibility. But I think I lean more towards Machado. There's a little bit also probably looking at him and his contract. It's like, Jesus, he's got the worst average in all of baseball. I mean, there's some things right now associated with Manny Machado that it's tough to look past. Tatis, the only thing I'll give Tatis, there's activity. He's on base. Like there's things happening with Tatis, and obviously you can't hide the one home run. I mean, remember when we said after he hit the first home run that this was going to ignite something?
It hasn't. In terms of power,
just thought might trigger him.
Well, here's the thing. Because I'm not going to disagree with your point on Machado. There's no wrong answers with Machado and Tatis right now. The reason I'll lean Tatis is that it's one thing for a baseball player to struggle. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not because of poor decision making. That's the one thing where I'll give Machado the edge. He can field his position. He is headsy. He is smart on a baseball field. What I'm really disappointed in with Tatis is it's almost like, what's that movie where you go backwards in age? It's like he's Benjamin Button on the baseball field. You're in your 9th major league season. He's one of the most tenured players on the Padres, let alone baseball, and you're making A-ball mistakes. And you're that's supposed the frustrating part for me.
And it's a good point. You're also supposed to be at this stage of his career, he should be the best version of himself.
Right.
At 27 years old, the best version of himself, not going back the other way where it feels like he is. It's interesting because we were told this for the first month and a half of the season. We were told, and this could be just as simply our fault for falling into some kind of trap here, because there's a lot of people telling us, and you want to ignore them. Padres weren't, they're winning games. They're kind of winning miraculously. They're winning after the 7th inning. They're winning a lot of close games, 3-2, whatever the case is. should we have just been expecting this whole time? Because I think right now what's happening is there is just this collapse in front of us. The Padres are going to have gone, and it's happening so quick. I think this is the thing that is adding to it. This is not like the slow bleed or something along those lines. But there was a point, Dodgers are in town. They're a half game up on the Dodgers. And in the second game of that series, they're up 4-2 in that game after, I think, Machado and Andahar hit 2 2-run homers. They're up 4-2. Right. It's like, you know what, maybe the Padres are just, we're not giving them enough credit. Since that moment, obviously, it's gone completely downhill. But a lot of people have been saying for a long time, analytically, the way this team plays, they should be a 500 team. They went from 11 games over 500. They 2 now?
2.
So it didn't take very long. It took about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks for the Padres to come back down to earth. And I think it's just all happened so fast. And there's nothing that seems like it's going to stop it or slow it down. And there's a lot of truth to that because, I know there's stretches in baseball where this happens, but do you think today, as you sit here, a month from now, they will have weathered the storm and they're 5, 7, 8 games over 500? Or do you think it's more of what it is?
I would say this, they better have weathered it. They better have, because
why? What makes you think that what have you seen from this team to make you think this entire year that they are going to weather the storm?
Well, April. I mean, there is a version of the Padres that can win close, low-scoring games. They've been built to do that. They field well. They've allowed the fewest unearned runs in baseball. Their bullpen theoretically is among the better, even though they've been leaky here recently. They do have Mason Miller, who could have been on my vacation as sparingly as he was used over the last 10 or 15 days. But I'm not expecting this to continue, but I'm also not expecting them to all of a sudden turn around and it to be April. The issue they're going to run into is what Fangraphs is telling us, that they're going to be trending to like an 80-win season or an 82-win season or an 84-win season. And what are they going to do to take that 82 and turn it into 86 or 87? And that's my issue with the way they're playing. They're throwing games away because of stupid decisions. They're not good enough to overcome Tatis against the Phillies on Thursday, Tatis on the bases against the Mets on Sunday, the Nationals last weekend that you were referring to. They're not good enough to overcome that.
Here's the problem. I think your vision of, you think they're throwing away games. I think they're throwing away stupid outs that can cost them runs. I don't think they're throwing away games.
But with baseball, it's hard to know.
I know that, but John, they're just not a good baseball team. Like what we're watching today, like I wish you have such a fair point to make about yesterday and Tatis trying to steal third for no reason at all when you're down 2 runs. They lost 7-3. As in, the game didn't come down. If that game ended up like, let's just use as an example, they ended up losing that game 4-3, and maybe that was the run, that was the difference. The problem is a lot of these games that they're losing, I don't feel like it's coming down to one play. I think there's a lot of dumb decisions being made. I just don't think it's coming down to a play here or there.
Because baseball's not linear like that. If Ty France comes through in that spot and it's 4-4, or if it's 4-3, your bullpen usage is different. You can't say the game plays out the same way because everything could have changed based on his decision. That's how I always look at baseball. It's not like basketball. There's no clock. Preserving an out could be winning the game. We've seen them win games with 2 outs in the 9th inning. What would we have said if they ran into an out before Nick Castellanos hit a home run? Well, they trailed 3-0. They weren't going to win anyway. But you don't know until you do it. And preserving outs is a necessity when you have to be good on the margins. They're not good enough otherwise.
But I think what you're asking for is like the Padres need so many things to go right.
True.
And so many things to also go their way. And they also need, don't be idiotic. Like there's a combination of things that they need
beyond don't be idiotic
to win a freaking game against the Mets.
But they're not. Here's the thing. They're not going to go. They're not.
We're talking about the Mets.
But they're not the 2024 Rockies. Like they're not going 55-1.
I agree with that.
They're good enough to be good, but don't shoot yourself in the foot.
But the problem I have is they're good enough to be good. I think where you and I are having some difficulty here is I'm trying to figure out how they're going to be good. Because I can walk back to you, I could say Michael King has not been the same starter over these last 3 starts. Yeah. I can sit here. Randy Vasquez, I could say, I don't know what the hell all the other pitch. I mean, Buehler might be their best pitcher based in the last in the last couple of weeks.
Fits
You know
tonight.
what I mean from just seeing what Bueller's done. I don't see anything offensively. I mean, when's the last time we mentioned Xander Bogaerts' name?
I mention all the time is he can't hit.
Okay, that's one reason to do it, right?
Right.
What makes you think? And I wish, I hope I'm wrong on this. What makes you think Machado is just going to start dominating again just to get his averages to a decent mark? What makes you think Fernando Tatis is all of a sudden going to end up with 20 home runs by the time the season is done?
But I'm
pessimistic as hell, which is not right. Like maybe I shouldn't be, because this is just one stretch. The problem with this losing 9 of 11 or losing 11 of 13 is there were also a lot of people that were telling us, hey, the way they were winning games over that stretch is not sustainable. So this might just be more of the norm.
I think the norm is between the two. They're not the 19-9 team. They're not the 2-11 team. And that's my concern, that if they are in the middle, that's a problem, because that won't be good enough
to make the postseason. It won't.
Potentially. We'll see. All right. Dennis Lynn, by the way, on whether the Padres will still be buyers or could they be sellers. We'll share with you what Dennis Lynn had to say, plus your phone calls. On the other side, 877-767-4760. Kevin Acey will join us at 5 p.m. John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, talk about a struggling team. The Reds have lost 4 straight and 8 of 10. They're in town to begin a 3-game series with the Padres. We're giving away Chris Stapleton tickets up next on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right. The good news is we can talk about the Red struggles with John Sadak in 13 minutes. He calls games for Cincinnati. They're in town. He'll join us at 4 p.m.
We should just go at the Reds.
Like, what is your deal? You guys are like 10 games
Cincinnati.
By the way, their deja vu of the Padres. They were 10 up.
How confused would he be? He'd be like, what?
Like, yo, John, how do you explain this? I mean, this tailspin that the Reds are in. John Sadak at 4 p.m., Kevin Acey at 5. We need to announce a winner of the Chris Stapleton tickets coming up. Do we have another talkback we want to play before we announce the winner of the Chris Stapleton tickets? This is July 11th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, just over a month away. Mm-hmm. I love me some Chris Stapleton. I would love to go to that show. Are you a country guy? Can I paint you with that brush? I'm going to say no.
So I'm not a country guy, but the first concert I ever went to.
Not a country guy.
I'm not a country guy just because I'm not knowledgeable enough about the genre of music. Like I don't have enough people saying, "Hey, take a listen to this, take a listen to that." When I do listen to country, I don't mind it, but that's definitely not I'm not gravitating towards that.
Yeah.
First concert I ever went to.
Country.
In San Diego. With I have two older sisters. So this is like, I'm 15, 16 years old, something like that. Yeah. I'm like, why am I going to this concert? I was kind of forced to go.
Let me hear this.
Shania Twain.
Oh, Shania Twain was your first ever concert?
Bro, she killed it.
And
like I was like trying to like, why am I here? And then like, a good 10 minutes in, I'm like, what song was that? Was it
really?
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that song right there.
Did you buy an album?
I didn't buy an album. I bought a CD.
That is an album, isn't it?
Technically.
Yeah, I think it is.
Technically.
Let's go to the talkback, Mike. We're asking our listeners, who do you blame more, Shania Twain, Manny Machado, or Fernando Tatis Jr.?
Don't you ever blame Shania Twain for anything.
The Padres struggles. We'll announce a winner of those Chris Stapleton tickets in a few minutes, but let's go back to the talkback, Mike.
Hey, guys. Yeah, Fernando Tatis Jr., by far the biggest disappointment. I mean, we pay him mega money to be able to hit the long ball, hit those home runs, and he just has not done that this year at all. These little dribblers up the middle and then just using his speed to get to first, that's not going to cut it for that kind of price point for what he earns. He definitely needs to step it up, and if he continues this way, we will all be drinking some Tennessee whiskey. Thanks, guys.
Ooh, he's making a plea for the Chris Stapleton tickets. You may recall the duet he did.
Got it in 32.
Yeah.
That was clean.
Did you like that?
That was clean.
Didn't he do a duet with Justin Timberlake for Tennessee whiskey, Brent? He's done it before, I think, in some country show. But I like that. I like that.
Was good.
That was a very good talkback. Let's go to the phones right now. If you want to weigh in, vent your frustration. Padres have lost 11 of 13. We'll hear more from Craig Stammen. Again, Kevin Acey will join us at 5. But 877-767-476. Let's go to Hector on line 2. Hector, you're on with Schaefer and Sliwa.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. First off, happy birthday, John. Keep up the good work with the wrap-up show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in my 2 cents here. When I heard that quote from Stammen, dude, it reminded me almost when Tingler criticized Tatis for hitting a grand slam with 7 runs, the 7-run lead. Some unwritten rules stuff of baseball. It's like he'd never seen like a team come back from 7 runs down or 10 runs down, stuff like that. That answer he gave, and if you notice, the reporter gave him a couple of outs, a couple of chances to correct himself. Imagine the next time somebody screws up on the bases, is he going to have the same answer? Is he going to say, "Oh, we trust, Ty France whenever he wants to go"? No, dude, you don't have to call out a player like horribly, like an NFL coach, but you got to start creating some sense of accountability. It's almost halfway through the season, so I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Hector, appreciate the call. I mean, I just happen to agree in general that there needs to be more accountability from the manager.
Maybe Stammen, honestly, maybe it's just like he's not comfortable with. Think about it. When they were winning games, we're like, hey, like what Stammen's doing, like that he's changing up the lineup. He's mixing things around. He's trying Tatis here. He's trying Tatis batting 5th in the order. He's trying to be really creative, and they keep finding ways to win. I think, here's what we're going to find out about Craig Stammen. We're going to find out in his first year, it's not just the manager of the San Diego Padres, but his first year as a manager, period. For a team that has expectations, for a team that has a high payroll, for a team that needs to get to the postseason, for a team that certainly has AJ Preller, who's willing to be aggressive at the trade deadline, but you got to give him the reasons to do it. Stammen doesn't seem like a guy at all that is going to seems like a nice guy. Mm-hmm. Seems like a good dude and a nice guy. Yeah. But I don't know how that will manage with some of these players. I don't.
I like the word manage. Not only, to your point, has he not managed before, he hasn't coached before. He hasn't been on a bench. He hasn't been in uniform other than a player. This would have been one of the more shocking managerial hires ever, if not for Tony Vitello being hired by the Giants in the same offseason, the college coach / manager. This went under the radar nationally because of the Tony Vitello hire. Let's go back to the phones. 877-767-4760. Paul wants to weigh in, I think, on the job that Craig Stammen is doing. Paul, thanks for calling in.
Hey, I'll weigh in on that, but let me turn it back a little bit. What do you think Schultz would have done with Tatis stealing third yesterday? You think he'd have put up with that? That was a bonehead move.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, he took the public defense of his players. I honestly don't know.
So maybe behind the scenes, he's doing something different.
But I think they're cleaner with Schilt than Stammen. I think they have more of an identity. You know, I really do. They're moving runners. I didn't love it, small ball, but I felt as if there was more of an identity with the Padres under Schilt than what we're seeing right now. With the
right now, some of their decisions also scream desperation with some of their base running errors and stuff like that. Not it doesn't seem strategic. It seems almost a little bit desperate.
But what else you got, Paul?
I think the Padres are sellers. I think you better start selling because you got some challenges. They just need to sell. I think they're sellers.
Yeah, it's interesting Paul says that, and thank you for the call, man. Listen to this from Dennis Lynn within the last few hours. With the August 3rd trade deadline less than 2 months away, a pot-committed club figures to buy, not sell. This despite, and he goes into at length, the issues that we're all talking about. I mean, the issues are as clear as day. There's no surprise here. Yet, because of their investment, the aging stars on this team, because of the track record of their general manager, as you just touched on a moment ago, there's many more reasons to believe that they will be more aggressive as opposed to the opposite, depending on how they play. I mean, you can't go 14 games under and aggressively buy, but you're 2, 3, 4 over. You certainly could be a significant buyer.
Yeah, I wonder how new ownership's going to look at this.
So do I.
You know, because I think if you're new ownership, let me throw out just kind of a scenario. What would you want from new ownership? Do you want new ownership to walk in and look at how the Padres are playing and look at the trajectory they're going in? And again, I'm with you. If there's a chance to make the playoffs, I want them to make the playoffs because I'm with everybody else. This window is just every single day. It looks like it's closing more and more. It might already be shut. I have no idea, right? We'll find out. But I also want ownership. If you told me ownership decided and mandated to AJ Preller in a month, we're not buying. Like, we got to think of the future here. And it's our job as owners to think of the next 3 years and 5 years and 10 years and everything else. I'm curious to see what that walking point is. If you're a few games below 500, is that the reason why you start selling? If you're a few games over 500, is that the difference to say, hey, let's go all in? You know, when you weren't here last week, I was going, there were Tarek Skubal trade proposals by big people. Jeff Passan, Ken Rosenthal was on that list. I mean, there was every single day. I keep telling, I'm like, Brent, you got to grab this down. I got to Friday and I'm like, I don't want to bring this up again, but it keeps being brought up. Okay. You know, let's just be a smart organization. No matter what they end up doing, yes, the city is desperate for a World Series. Yes, the city wants to see the Padres in the mix, but you still got to make decisions that are, you got to be smart. And I wonder how much new ownership kind of has a say in all of this by the time we get closer to that deadline.
I'm glad you asked. We'll get to John Sadek on the other side. But Dennis writes, some teams have been led to believe that this year the Padres are willing to take on payroll. That in Dennis's article today, that some teams believe the Padres, with their new ownership, will be willing to take on payroll.
They'll pay Machado more.
Well, are they willing to take on they've already paid Machado enough, but are they willing to take on money? Listen, the Skubal thing, Skubal's not happening. There's a lot of reasons why it's not happening here that we can get into over the next 2 months.
I agree with you on that.
But what's interesting is their willingness and willingness to take on payroll. Do we have a winner of the Talkback Mike for the Chris Stapleton tickets? It is Jeremy from Oceanside. Jeremy, congratulations. You've won a pair of tickets to the sold-out Chris Stapleton show, the All-American Road Show with Molly Tuttle, July 11th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in Chula. More info at Ticketmaster.com. John Sadek, TV voice of the Reds, as the Padres get ready for the Reds. Will join us next live right here on Schaefer and Sliwa. Stay with us. Hey guys, DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, California. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time, heartbreak.
The DraftKings Sports app is now live in California. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code SD760. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the Crown is Yours event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment. The Padres and Reds are getting set to start their series downtown at Petco Park tonight. It's going to be Andrew Abbott going for Cincinnati and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is going to be at 6:40. We got game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight from Madison Square Garden. Spurs Knicks. They're going to tip that off after 5:30, closer to 5:45. Rev up Father's Day gift giving at summitracing.com. You'll find unique gifts, parts, tools, accessories, and more. Or give the perfect card, a Summit Racing gift card. Shop summitracing.com, plus enroll in the rewards program to get even more power in every purchase.
All right, hour 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. I was on a vacation for a week, but I had to be back for my birthday. That's why I'm here, Alan. I'm back for my birthday. All right. John Sadak is with us right now.
Yeah.
TV voice of the Cincinnati Reds. We spent the first hour complaining about the Padres play. The Reds haven't been playing great baseball either. They've lost 4
Let's go at the Reds
straight.
now.
They're now under 500. John, appreciate you hopping on. Long time friendship. Me and John go way back to the minor leagues, our first years, in fact, in the minor leagues, all the way back in A-ball. But John, what's played out here? A little bit like the Padres. I mean, a faster start, and then the wheels seemingly have fallen off a little bit here. What has been the reasons as to why?
Well, first of all, happy birthday, and thank you for having me.
Of course.
I think like any situation, of this ilk, when you start with an incredible run as the Reds did, and they were in first place in the division at the close of April, there's a lot of things that factor in, but the bedrock of this team was set to be its starting rotation. And I think you can still make a compelling case that when the Reds are healthy and fully loaded in their rotation is a legitimate top 10 in the majors. And you could argue top 5 in the majors rotation when healthy and productive. But Hunter Green was hurt in the offseason. Nick Lodolo dealt with blister issues that have been recurring on his pro career. Lodolo is now back, but is still just beginning to look like himself, only a handful of starts. Andrew Abbott had a really rough month coming off an all-star year. Hunter Green has still yet to pitch. So that's the number one issue, is the greatest strength was tested significantly. I also think the bullpen that at the end of April had the best bullpen ERA in the majors has been near or at the bottom of most major categories, particularly with walks since then. The Reds had a lead in every game in the St. Louis series that they just lost. Defense more recently has been an issue, 7 errors in a 4-game losing streak, including an error in each game. And there were some critical ones late in that St. Louis series. And there's been a mix of productivity from their best players, their better players. Most pronounced, Elly De La Cruz was off to an MVP pace. I mean, if Shohei Ohtani didn't exist, he does, and he's the world's greatest player. And barring injury or a major fall off, he's going to be a deserved MVP. But Elly was legitimately in that conversation for that next slot. He was playing that well defensively. He was hitting that well. Not to say he doesn't have flaws. Every player does. But I thought he was a star for this team, and he just suffered a hamstring injury. This team has won 1 game since. So I think it's a lot of factors that have all kind of come together. And it's part of the test of this sport, right? It's every day. It is relentless. And the Reds are going through it right now.
John, throw one your way on the Padres as you get ready for this 3-game set to start. Just from your vantage point, what are some things that surprise you? I'm sure you're jotting down your notes and you're looking at Machado and Tatis and some of these names that right now they exist by name. It's not the players that we've all certainly got to know and certainly don't represent the contracts that they're getting paid on an annual basis. What's been some of your takeaways of just seeing how the Padres have struggled, losing 11 of their last 13?
Yeah, I think the drop in overall contact and scoring, right? I mean, it's 2 runs or less in 8 of 14. The Machado contact numbers, I believe he is the lowest average of all qualifiers in the major leagues at 169. That's barely above 110 in the last 30 games. And you guys know, you get to see it all the time. I mean, when he's on, he is one of the best players in the sport. So to see that drop off with that many stars, it does seem like Tatis, while not having the power that he had once before, is starting to turn some of that around for himself. Jackson Merrill stuns me too. I mean, you get to see him every day, but I only see him in part during certain portions of the schedule. And I was shocked to see where some of the numbers are, because he's a young, outstanding player that I've really enjoyed watching over the years. And that stunned me. It surprised me significantly. And that's part of the test of what this series is how scuffling the San Diego lineup has been and its inability to score and make regular contact, and where the Reds relievers have been as a unit, who have also been tested from an innings threshold too, and had to be used a lot, had an extra inning game at last homestand against Kansas City to boot. I think that's a giant fulcrum in the series. That's a series that both teams desperately need.
Yeah, 100%. John Sadak is the TV voice of the Reds. He's with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. This NL Central has gotten a lot of discussion because at one point all the teams were over 500. Still now 4 of the 5, and the Reds are only 2 games under. What has surprised you, if anything, about the way this division has played out in the first 2 months of the year?
The depth of it. In the National League Central, I mean, they set a divisional error record for how late in the year every team was at or above 500. It was only during this 4-game slide that the Reds fell under for the first time since they lost on opening day. They lost opening day to Boston, but came back and won that series and had been at or above 500 ever since. Some teams are expected. The Brewers, Milwaukee has been a marvel at how consistently it has played exceptional baseball. The organizational development that they've done, selling high on players that they have traded right before the bottom falls out, buying low, what they've done in the remake of Kyle Harrison to turn him into a Cy Young candidate when he scuffled to put it together for a 4.5 ERA with 2 different major league teams before. That's kind of a known. And when they were more middle of the pack first month in, I knew that wouldn't last very long. But the Pirates were a team that I thought could and would be better, and I liked some of their ads, and they performed above what I would have envisioned to this point. The Cardinals certainly as well. I mean, St. Louis sold. They sloughed off a lot of their older, heavier contracts, and it's not a full rebuild, kind of a modified rebuild. It wasn't expected on paper based on their transactions by an outsider that they would be that competitive. And it's a long season. I mean, we should caution with all the teams that are up and down, including the Reds and Padres. It's early June. I mean, things can change dramatically over a span of time. That said, yeah, like within the division itself, some of the competitive level of the other teams within the division, particularly the Pirates and Cardinals, has been above and beyond what I would have expected at this point of the year.
John, it's funny. We ask, at least I try to ask every time we're facing a new team, and every market, not every market is created equal. Padres had a 3-game set against the Mets, the Phillies, and I'm asking people from the bigger markets, small markets, how does Cincinnati? I mean, do you get kind of a gauge of how fans feel about potential work stoppage and a lot of the conversation this last week and a half where you got you got owners and you got the players union, everybody kind of jockeying for this PR battle. What Cincinnati, do you get kind of a feel for what fans want to see over the course of the next year?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I'm kind of immersed every day doing a game. And I also wind up doing football and basketball. I work about 200 events a year. So if I'm not doing prep or work for a game that I'm doing, I'm fairly unavailable most of the time to my family. I don't really spend that time consumed with anything outside of that. I'm probably a poor source for like an accurate temperature on that. I read the coverage of the team, what the team is doing on the field, but the business side is really kind of beyond me.
Yeah, it's interesting because, again, we don't really know what's going to come, but certainly could have a drastic impact on the sport, even if the sport is played, for example, in 2027. All right, so Padres and Reds coming up here tonight, game 1 of a 3-game series. Tell us about just the lineup in general. Without Ellie, like you said, they've won just once. Ellie was having this monster start. How has the lineup performed in general overall this year?
I would say overall, well. I think they do enough most nights to be able to give the Reds a chance to win. I think the biggest find has arguably been J.J. Bleday. You know, was first rounded by the Marlins, had a very strong season with the A's when he first got there, wasn't quite the same in year 2, and he is playing his best baseball in a Reds uniform. He was the National League Player of the Month in May, and deservedly so. I think his swing and his power can lean into Great American Ballpark significantly. I think he has a pretty good feel for the zone. He works in deep counts. I feel similarly about Nathaniel Lowe, another veteran bat who had struggled, first 2/3 of the year with Texas. When he wound up with Boston near the tail end of last year, you saw that he was regathering that form that had him as a Silver Slugger, Gold Glover during his Texas days and a world champion. But I think with the Reds, it's been more matchup oriented, and it depends some. That's one of the many challenges for Terry Francona, is finding the right lineup combinations. Eugenio Suarez was a huge ad, both in terms of cost and in terms of what the hope was that he could be a 30 to maybe 50 home run guy. I mean, he's challenged for 50 multiple years in his career, but he was at third base, and Key Brian Hayes was there early. So then the thought was in spring training, maybe he would play some first. Nathaniel Lowe played so well in spring and more than carried that over into the regular season. But Sal Stewart also profiles at both positions. And Spencer Steer might be the Reds' most consistent overall hitter. Just lost a 24-game on base streak in the last game against St. Louis. He will not start for the first time in weeks for the Reds tonight. And he probably plays best at first base, even though he's versatile and they can play him in multiple positions. But I think the lineup overall has been a little top heavy. The greatest inconsistency has come from that bottom third. There's been some rotation in terms of who that's been and their productivity. Matt McClain is hot right now, and he's a SoCal, Orange County guy, grew up in the shadows of Angel Stadium. And he is hot right now. 3 homers in his last couple of games, well over 300 with some walks in his last 5. First rounder who has a lot of talent, who I thought was the Reds' best player in 2023, had a monster spring, led the majors in homers and ribbies, had one of the best overall springs of any offensive player in the sport. And his season has been very inconsistent, often around 200. He's not chasing like he did at times when he struggled last year, but he's also not consistently hitting. The strikeouts are down, but the average is way below what I think he and the team would have expected. But maybe he's turning that corner because he's coming off several really good games in a row.
It's been an interesting series. You got a couple of teams that are scuffling. Sometimes we say teams heading in different directions. These teams are heading in similar directions, unfortunately, for both Padres and Reds fans. Tonight, Andrew Abbott, Walker Buehler, 640 at Petco Park. John, appreciate you taking time, man. Hope all is well. Enjoy a few days here in America's finest city.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, John. Alan, happy birthday, John.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you, my friend. All right, John Sadak, TV voice of the Cincinnati Reds.
By the way, that's a baseball voice.
Oh my gosh.
That is a baseball voice.
He's a great broadcaster. We spent a lot of time. We spent probably 15 years working the minor leagues together. He was I got into the minor leagues a year after college, 2003. His first year was 2003. He made it to the big leagues with the Reds in the 2020s. He spent 20 years in the minor leagues. I spent 15. But we were in the same league. A ball for 5 years, AAA for 10 years, basically. So we go 20 years back, 20 years back. He's working for the Reds. All right. On the other side, we've been spending a lot of time on Craig Stammen. What answers does he have for the struggling Big Four? He spoke on that yesterday after the loss. And you'll hear from Craig Stammen on the other side. Plus, we've got another giveaway for you between now and 6 p.m. We're giving away tickets to see Dave Chappelle at Viejas Arena. We'll tell you how to win.
That's the one I'm interested in.
We'll
you had the other ones.
Win.
I'll take Chappelle.
On the other side, we'll tell you how to win those tickets. Kevin Acey at 5 p.m. on Schaefer and Sleewa. Stay with us.
Worry about your side of the table over there, okay?
It's my birthday, man.
San Diego Sports 760, your home for live coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Get daily match updates from the opening match, June 11th to the final, July 1st. Hear live play-by-play of the most anticipated games at every USA match. 2026 World Cup coverage lives on San Diego Sports 760. You know, I watched the full game, Germany-USA on Saturday.
Who won?
Come on, man. You
What
know
sport?
who won.
Oh, in the soccer. I wasn't listening to the read. I was thinking about the presents that you're about to give me. When do the presents come, and when are the special guests coming on?
So
the big birthday.
Yeah.
What have you? Is that arriving in the?
I got
5 o'clock
you
hour?
a really, really nice gift card to a phenomenal steakhouse in
I don't
San
eat
Diego.
steak.
I know. I'm going with you, so I'm
You're gonna
eating
get a
most
lot of
it.
baked potatoes.
Yeah,
And
I like baked potatoes. I like salad.
Maybe I should take you to a good barbecue spot. You can do just mac and cheese. I'll do the ribs.
No,
I'll do the ribs from there.
I know who won the U.S.-Germany game.
Germany won 2-1, but it was competitive. It was good. It's actually USA was a lot better than I thought they'd be. When Germany scored 2 minutes in, I'm like, it's going to be 8-0. It's going to be a rout. And why does USA even have a soccer team?
Right,
But the game was
the
competitive.
U.S.
It was
is
good.
scoring more than like the Padres right now with their goal per
Was
match.
that necessary?
No, not necessarily. By the way, I heard this live last night, what Craig Stammen said post-game, because I was listening to it. And this also took me by surprise. This is a fascinating answer about the struggling Bogarts, Merrill, Machado, Tatis. Listen to Craig Stammen last night.
Yeah, they're just struggling, and thankfully it's still June and we got a lot of season left. And I think, when you're a superstar, it means you've been very consistent over the course of your career. And it's always a shock when you're not as consistent as you've always been, for them personally and for everybody that expects a lot out of them. But I know they expect more out of it than anybody else. They're the ones, trying their hardest, and they're, hanging their heads right now. But we got to lift them up and know that better days are ahead.
Where are you guys at in your search for answers for them, given that it is 2 months into the season?
Well, we haven't found them yet. That's where the search is, and we're going to keep looking for it. The good thing is we have very talented players that we're working with, and that they can make adjustments. They're elite at adjustment. We're just in search of that, that answer that you said that we're looking for. I think the answer is we got great players, and they're just going to be just fine.
We have great players. They're going to be just fine. We're looking for the answer.
Got a question for you. What do you want him to say?
I like to say that they're like on it.
I'm like, there's certain things he said so far. We talked about the Tatis one with him justifying, hey, I'm going to let Tatis do his thing. I don't agree with that. I don't really know what he can say. He's trying to protect the players, and it's the players that are making him look stupid, and it's the players that are also, I don't know if they making Steven Souza look stupid, or you put it together. But I'm going to go back to something that was a conversation last week, and I think it could be a conversation. It's going to continue to be a conversation. They're going to have to make a change. Like, they're going to have to make a change.
You're saying specifically the hitting coach?
They're going to have to do something. And who are you? Who else? Where else are you going to make a change? Like, I think we got to. Let's be honest with each other here real quick. This isn't 2 weeks. Their biggest players, part of their franchise, suck this year. They're awful. Their numbers
no answers for it.
Are awful. And if it's not Steven Souza Jr.'s fault, you have to do something. Like, if you told me that the expectations aren't, if you told me this was a rebuilding year, and you could sell me on so many other things. The problem is they need to win now. And if they can't win now, or guys, certain things aren't happening, there's nothing that they've done through the course of over 2 months so far of the season. The trajectory, nothing is changing. We're watching the same game every single. It's like the same thing every single night.
Fall behind, don't come back.
Brother, how can you not make, like, so what are you going to do? You're just going to hope and pray and do the sign of the cross that Xander, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, and Manny Machado are going to do something different than they've done in the first 9 weeks of the season, 10 weeks of the season?
But if you have to make a change, why haven't they? I wake up every day, like on social, expecting that statement. And again, it's not to put all the blame in his chair, but that's just how sports work. I'm with you. I think we're past the point.
You got to do something.
Well, you need to do something. If it is, I've made the point of just move Manny down, make a trade. Call someone up. Relieve someone of their duties. You have to do something.
It's the collective of the whole offense.
Yeah, it's everything.
This ain't one player. By the way, this is so stupid having this conversation because we've been having it for 6 weeks. What have I said different from 6 weeks ago, other than I had 6 more weeks of a sample size?
Doesn't it, like, can you play the second part of Stammen, the second question and his answer? You can tell in his answer that he doesn't have the answer. That to me is concerning. It's not like Craig Stammen as the middle reliever has to have the answer, but the organization has to have something, or someone needs to take accountability. And Craig Stammen's done it before. I've heard him say, "Put it on me," before Steven Souza.
I've heard Machado say, "Put it on me."
But like this to me is not good enough.
Where are you guys at in your search for answers for them, given that it is 2 months into the season?
Well, we haven't found them yet. That's where the search is, and we're going to keep looking for it. The good thing is we have very talented players that we're working with and that they can make adjustments. They're elite at adjustment. We're just in search of that, that answer that you said that we're looking for. I think the answer is we got great players and they're just going to be just fine.
They're elite at adjusting.
Because he doesn't have the answer. Like he clearly is nowhere near knowing what the answer is. And I think there is growing, obviously you go through a stretch like this. Again, I go back to it. If this was a smaller sample size, if this was just hey, 2 players are really struggling. Yeah. It's Merrill and Xander, but Tatis and Machado, there's nothing to talk about there. Their collective, their just entire lineup is awful. It's awful. So we're just going to keep, if the idea, again, the Padres are trying to make the playoffs. Forget the division, forget any of that. They're trying to just make the playoffs. So do you just not make a change 9 weeks in? Okay, let's wait 12 weeks in. Like, how long do you have to wait before you say we have to shake something up? You and I watched the Philadelphia Phillies really shake something up. I'm not telling you the Phillies are now going to turn it around and they're going to become the team to beat in the NL, but they were 10 games below 500. They're now 5 games over 500. They made a significant change. They changed their manager. Does it not feel like the Padres got to do something? It feels like they do. And maybe it's not on Steven Souza Jr., but the way those bats are, how dead those bats are, it is going to fall on your hitting coach.
I don't understand how you can hit 214. You can have an on-base percentage of 289. You can have an OPS of 644. All of these are worst in the sport. And you could just keep going about it business as usual. It's shocking to me that you can do that. They have to have some answers or they got to be able to have some complimentary pitch, so to speak, to throw at this to try to solve these offensive issues. All right, we'll get to the wrap on the other side. We'll tell you how to win these tickets as well coming up to see Dave Chappelle here in San Diego. You'll need to use our talkback mic. We'll tell you how to win those tickets to see Dave Chappelle at Viejas on June 21st. Kevin Acey will join us at 5 p.m. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again for my friends at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We've been telling you about their hotel and spa at Jamul. You'll absolutely love it. You can experience elevated luxury. They've got their refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort now seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now, take your stay to the next level. They have exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. And while you're there, you will love their dining options, whether it's Jamul 23 or Tony Gwynn's. At Jamul 23, you'll love the lobster buffet served every day. You can enjoy lobster buffet, all you can eat, each and every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. You can start your morning with their new signature breakfast buffet. That's Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30 a.m. And that features made-to-order omelets and fresh fruit and sweet and savory favorites. And then at Tony Gwynn's, you're enjoying San Diego's favorite endless dining experience. That's Wednesday through Sunday at Tony Gwynn's Sports Pub at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
This report is sponsored by the California Department of Boating and Waterways. The Padres and Reds are downtown at Petco getting set for game 1 of their series tonight. It's going to be Andrew Abbott going for Cincy and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. We got NBA Finals game 3 tonight from Madison Square Garden. Spurs at Knicks. They're going to tip that off a little after 5:30, probably closer to 5:45. Whether you're on the lake, the river, or the bay, when you hop on board for a day on the water, make sure everyone's on board with wearing a life jacket. Life jackets save lives. Get on board. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
All right. Schaefer and Sliwa, Kevin Acey will join us at 5 p.m. I want to tell our listeners, Alan, how to win tickets.
That's your birthday today?
Well, it is my birthday today. If you want to congratulate me on making it to 46, you can hit us up on the Talkback mic. But if you want to win tickets to see Dave Chappelle, all right, this is June 21st. So coming up in 13 days, VA House Arena. Take it to livenation.com. Get them before they're gone. Dave Chappelle in San Diego, right? I mean, that's
were you Chappelle show guy?
Yeah, it was good. Very good, right? Now, choosing between Chris Stapleton or Dave Chappelle, that's a toss-up for me. But these are great giveaways today. And we gave away
no giveaways.
The Chris Stapleton tickets. Here's what I'm looking for between now and 5:30. We'll announce the winner at 5:30. Open the iHeartRadio app right now, all right? Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red microphone icon and tell us who's winning tonight between the Knicks and the Spurs. All you got to do, tell us your name, where you're listening from, who's winning tonight, and maybe why. Knicks, Spurs,
give us some
3.
context. I want to know why.
Yeah, you don't have to break down like the 2-3 zone.
My San Antonio Spurs choked.
I don't know if it was a choke or not, but they came all the way back.
But they choked.
Yeah, the end was really bad.
Knicks were trying to choke that game away, and then Spurs said, "No, we'll choke it for
more
you."
than you.
I got fouled.
You look like Wemby on the final shot with your trying to make your
the pass or the shot.
What is this? Why do I always not know what we're doing? It's a crumpled up piece of paper that you're throwing in a trash bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look like Wemby on the final shot.
I got fouled.
No, I didn't touch you.
We had a foul to give too.
Kevin, exactly like the Spurs the other night. All right, Kevin Acey will join us coming up at 5 p.m. We'll give away those Dave Chappelle tickets. If you want to win them, you can qualify right now. Open the iHeartRadio app, search for 760, click the red Talkback mic. Tell us who wins tonight and why between the Knicks and the Spurs. But right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Speaking of the Spurs, are they done?
I hate to say this. A lot of people are going to try to beat around the bush and say, this series is not over. That Spurs are done, man.
Really?
They lost.
Just
they
like
freaking lost Friday. Friday night, I'm driving, which, by the way, is not very easy to listen to a radio broadcast. I mean, I've been listening to it my entire life, but NBA Finals, they come all the way back, down, 14 or something like that. They take a freaking lead. And then Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs, choke away the last maybe 30 seconds of the game. To be honest with you, they're just inexperienced. That's it. That's what I think this series is going to come down to. I think they're done. No question about it. They're done.
No way. No
I wish I was wrong.
Okay?
I wish. What do you think is going to happen?
I think the Spurs in 6. And here's how they're going to do it. They're going to win games 3 through 6. That's the path to winning. It's 6 games. And by the way, I was in New York yesterday. The excitement's at a fever pitch, right? And here's the thing. I think now the shoe is on the other foot, so to speak. When the Spurs beat the Thunder, they were hunting down Oklahoma City. When this series started, the Knicks were hunting down the Spurs. The Spurs are the favorite. That's now changed. I think pressure's on the Knicks tonight back at MSG for a finals game for the first time in nearly 30 years. I think with a little bit of the pressure off the Spurs, everyone's saying the Knicks are going to win it all. I think the Spurs respond tonight, win convincingly by 9 points at the Garden. 9 full points.
I want Brent to react to what you just said.
Okay.
Brent, everything John just making the case that the Knicks are now the hunted. And that the San Antonio Spurs are winning by 9. What is your reaction to Schaefer's response?
It could happen.
Thank you.
I don't have a very strong feeling towards that.
I hope it happens. I I mean, we would have had a real dogfight if they won that last game, because this would have been a combination of, like, not only did San Antonio tie the series, which of course they needed to, they're playing at home, but the story would have been like, here we go, Knicks again. Are they going to collapse? Like, there would have been so much pressure.
Hey, it's a good point.
Pressure would have been there. And they didn't have to, because Brunson had to hit one free throw.
It was kind of a funny coincidence that the ESPN crew, Shaq and Kenny and all those guys, the last two teams that went to the finals and were in an 0-2 deficit was Barkley's Suns and Shaq when the first time we went to Orlando.
Yep.
So, and Kenny was on
funny.
Kenny was on the Rockets team. So you take Ernie Johnson out, all three of them were involved in the last two times.
That's interesting.
Spurs in 6 or 7 or 8.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Next question.
In 8.
That'd be the first time ever.
Yep.
What's the most you would pay for a ticket to get in tonight's game?
All right, so
Is this to pay tonight or pay for a ticket in general?
I think it just in general, right? In
Okay.
general. Okay, so let me play out a scenario with you. I know when we left on Friday, when we left the station, tickets were like, I think $7,000, 7,500.
Yeah, it's gone down.
It's 4,900 right now. I'm looking.
Okay, but it was 7,500 when we left on Friday. The game had just started. By the time the Knicks won game 2, it went up to like 11 G's, 11.5, something like that. You said 4,900.
Yeah, 4,900 right now again.
Let's paint a picture. If you told me that the San Diego Padres were up 3-0 and they had a shot at winning a World Series, they're in the World Series, they're up 3-0. They already won 2 on the road. This game's at Petco Park, wherever it is. I am almost a little embarrassed to say this. I don't know if I have a number. Like, if I could see the San Diego Padres win a World Series at Petco Park and it's the first championship in our freaking history,
You go higher than 5K?
I might have to mortgage some stuff.
Dude, you didn't go into Dodger Stadium when the Padres could have advanced to an NLCS 2 years ago.
It was very wise on my part.
They didn't win, but so all of a sudden you're gonna
I'm not saying I'm spending 5K. What I'm telling you is
there's no price for that opportunity.
I think that,
of course.
yeah, I mean, listen, it could be the only chance you have.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference, in my opinion. That an NBA situation with an arena that seats 20K in New York City is going to command something like this occasionally.
Well, and the New York thing, right? They haven't won
it
since
forever.
73.
But like, to be reasonable, if the Padres were playing for a World Series clincher tonight at Petco Park against, name the team in the American League.
Let's go Yankees.
Let's
make it even more interesting. Okay, you want a different team?
Yeah.
All right, let's say it's them
It's a good
and
team.
them and you want like you could say Baltimore and it's like mid-market,
Boston.
you know.
Let's just
Okay,
say
Red
play the
Sox.
Red Sox.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think the price would be to get in is a different question. What's the price to get in that situation?
I think it's very, very high. I think every San Diegan's like, what the F? We got a chance to win a World Series?
5K, outdoor, 40-something thousand seats?
I think it's at least to just get in, you're paying a couple of grand.
I could see that. I think it's fair. And I do think it would be worth it, probably, for a lot of people.
I'm curious to see if the Knicks win tonight, what game 4 prices will be.
I think it'll be higher because I think Knicks fans want to
that's
see
it. That's the clinch.
And it's going to be high if they lose tonight as well. Next question.
Was it right for Texas Tech's Brandon Sorsby to be able to play next season?
This guy admitted to betting on hundreds and hundreds of
like $90,000
events, including games that he played in, right? Prop related?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't understand how this happened. Like, I don't understand how he what's kind of the message being sent here?
Here's the message. The court has 4 Texas Tech graduates sitting on it. There's the message. The injunction comes from the county that Texas Tech is situated in. All 4 are Texas Tech grads. Shockingly, he was granted an injunction. Isn't that amazing? That's incredible.
That's a real story.
That's the real story. There it is for you.
So the dude, thousands of bets totaling at least $90,000. Hey, I got a great idea.
Injunction.
Just get back in there, brother. Just get back in there. Honestly, it is. I didn't know that piece of the story.
Oh, yeah.
Happens
all the time.
How is there not like a higher level that's like, yeah, this is obviously shady, so let's just...
That's why we're looking right now, we're looking towards Congress to pass this bill or these bills that take this out of play. How can, like, Alabama have its own set, I'm making it up, of NIL rules in the state? And then the state of Missouri has different rules. There's no equal playing field. Forget about Group of 6, Power 4.
Oh,
There's just no playing field. And this right here is
just
as egregious
dirty
as it gets. And by the way, this is going to be a massive story for the next 3 months. There'll be a ton of pressure on Texas Tech in the Big 12.
Of course there will
trying
be.
to get this quote-unquote right, and it'll be interesting to see how it gets resolved. It's a disastrous look for everyone. Final question.
Who's going to win the World Cup?
Yeah.
World Cup. I'm going to go Spain. Say Spain
Over
wins it all.
Bama?
I like Ohio State. I'll go Spain.
You're going
Spain wins it all.
I will volley your Spain to France. I'm going to go with
France.
Remember, they gave us the Statue of Liberty, which I thought was kind.
That was very nice of them.
They're wearing Statue of Liberty themed jerseys in the World Cup.
We
You see
appreciate
those?
that.
They're cool.
We appreciate that.
They have a good team, right?
They always do. I think like top 5 right now, it's your regulars. Argentina, Brazil is in the mix.
Germany
in the mix? Top 5?
Yes.
Okay.
According to DraftKings, Spain is plus 450, followed by France at 475, England, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, then Germany.
I'll tell you
Portugal,
who's not going to win.
Brazil. Who?
England.
Because they just don't.
They just don't.
Yeah, it's true.
Even us who don't, we're not
Yeah, we
watching.
just know that.
I get locked in. I do enjoy the World Cup.
What about the U.S.?
What about them?
We're plus 6,000.
What about the
US?
US?
Well, they're playing. What's the value of home field?
Can you imagine if the
What if they win
United
it all?
States, can you imagine if they get knocked out in group stage? Man, it's going to be like a solid 3.5 hours where people are angry.
Oh, yeah. 3.5 hours. What about this? What if it's Miracle on Ice Soccer Edition? Because nobody right now is like the U.S. has any shot. What if they just shock the world, win this thing on home soil?
Okay, I will say this again. I know this is the game against Germany. I thought they were solid. Now, I'm serious.
But they didn't win.
You're right, but there's a little bit of there's levels to the game, right?
Yeah, but I want to win it.
USA is not in the level of most of these other countries. So
when will they be?
What does your ranking? Does it show how far USA is down that list?
20th?
It's probably 20th.
It's got to be top 20, right? There's only 48.
Well, they're definitely 20. They have to be top
plus 6,000. That was big. Those are long odds, dude. Is that 600 to 1?
He's still scrolling. He looks like
14th.
Oh, 14th. Okay.
Sounds high.
14th. Yeah, it does kind of sound high, doesn't it? So
they're
14th.
sandwiched between Japan and Switzerland.
I take the Swiss in that one.
That's really interesting. All right. What? I'm just saying, what if the
your
U.S.
sense of humor
shocks the world? It's possible.
And worst
It is
odds,
possible.
just to throw it out there, is Jordan at plus 250,000.
Jordan, that would
Yeah.
be surprising.
That'd be a little more
If Jordan
shocking.
won it. Like, what a run. This Jordanian team, man.
You can't stop them.
They're on a hell of a run
You
right
cannot
now.
stop
You
Jordan.
just hope to contain them. All right. If you want to win those Dave Chappelle tickets, open up the iHeartRadio app right now. Search for 760.
Mm-hmm.
Click the red talkback mic and tell us who wins tonight and why. Not between the Padres and the Reds, but between the Knicks and the Spurs in game 3. On the other side,
Should Jordan not have the Jordan logo? Like, should that not be something that they have a little bit of a conversation about?
do you know that they don't?
I don't know.
Have you seen their uniforms?
I'm just saying that would be pretty baller
it
to
would
have
make
the
sense.
two right there.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
On the other side, we're getting you ready for Knicks and Spurs, right? Coming up tonight at 5:30. So I was outside because of my travels, outside
Yeah, we gotta
yesterday,
talk about
Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
And my son ended up on a YouTube stream, and we will share with you what he had to say on that stream on the other side. You will not want to miss
Like
it.
a wrap-up
Plus-
show from MSG?
No, but I did it from everywhere else.
Okay.
Plus, Kevin Ace, your Padres Insider at 5 p.m. We're here until 6. Stay with us. Schiffer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Jalen Brunson.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Did you realize that? Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He'll join us coming up at 5 p.m. in just over 10 minutes. We're also giving away tickets to see Dave Chappelle, June 21st, Viejas Arena. Tickets at livenation.com. If you want to win those tickets, open the iHeartRadio app right now. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback mic and tell us who you think wins tonight between the Knicks and the Spurs and why. Just by doing that, you're eligible to win 2 free tickets to see Dave Chappelle. We'll announce the winner between now and 5:30. So make sure to take advantage of that. So speaking of game 3, we'll get back to the Padres with Kevin Acee in 10 minutes. I am outside.
Yeah, I need a break from them.
I do too.
Did like a nice 10-minute.
I am outside MSG yesterday because my travels took me to New York. I was supposed to be in San Diego Saturday night. I ended up in New York because of weather. All right. Worst places to be. Spend an extra day touring the city.
That's cool.
And Sunday morning, my NBA.
You a New York fan?
Like a fan of the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it is a little bit of some people love it. Some people
live
not
there,
crazy.
but I think it's an experience.
No, it's cool.
Like it's a unique place.
I like
a unique place.
I like walking to begin with when I'm in a city.
You could walk miles.
So that's like
miles
that's
and miles
cool.
and miles.
Yeah.
So, my son's all into the NBA. Sure, he's not like a Knicks guy, but we take him to MSG. It's the day before game 3 of the NBA Finals.
Awesome time.
It was a really pretty unique experience. So, as you'd almost expect in New York, you see a little bit of everything. We are outside MSG at around 9 in the morning on Sunday, and there was a gentleman in a tuxedo sitting in like a lawn chair with a laptop and like a ring light and a camera. And the whole purpose of his stream is to say Jalen Brunson's name 100,000 times.
Love it.
It gets picked up by like House of Highlights and Bleacher Report and others yesterday that there's some kid, the Jake Epstein, that was outside just saying, he's like, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson. So, of course, my wife and I and my 7-year-old son see this. And Jones wanted to get involved in this. So they were in like the 7,000 range or whatever. It was very early. He was on his way to 100,000. It took him 12 hours to do this. And my son wanted to join in on the fun. This is what happened.
Jalen Brunson, 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 Jalen Brunson. That's right, baby. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson.
That happened.
Who cursed?
Jones first. My 7-year-old. Play it back.
Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
That's right.
My son actually said the F word.
What the hell is
YouTube.
going on in your household?
Here's what's happening. He got to New York and became a New Yorker in 20 minutes. He got there and he sounded just like a New Yorker. It took 2 hours. Matt, can you believe that?
By the way, this dude doing this, the highlight of his 12 hours is when this 7-year-old came in from San Diego, California, and just curses Jalen effing Brunson.
Correct. And what I appreciate about my 7-year-old is he will turn on all of his teams. Last week, he's all about Shea. And the week before that, he's all about Halliburton a year ago. And before that, it's Kawhi. He loves the Clippers. And now he's going around New York yelling Jalen Brunson's name. And he actually, how about this? So
you're teaching your son zero loyalty when it comes to the teams?
A little bit. It's more my wife. She's more into the player than the team, is what I've learned about Kristen. We went to the Lego store.
Who's she cheering for in the finals? Well, I'm assuming she can't cheer for the Spurs.
No one, but she's taking the Spurs over the Knicks.
Oh, she is taking the Spurs.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know exactly why. But we went to the Lego store, and he made a customized Lego, and the Lego has the word Knicks on it. I'm like, dude, you don't even like the Knicks. You go to New York for one day, and all of a sudden you're making Lego Knicks players.
I like this. This guy he's you know what he is? He's basically that's one way to put it. Another thing is he's just going with the hot stock, He's going to end up a multi-millionaire because he's like, just tell me what's working. I'm going with that. I don't want these. I'm not cheering for these losers anymore unless they're winning next year.
Not cheering. Exactly. So anyway, it's amazing what you can do.
All right.
A day in New York City.
Real quick on the game tonight. And I know we still got some time to hit on it, but Friday's game, man, it was such a great game. And the fact that it came down to the final couple of possessions, didn't it just seem like there's one team that's so freaking young? And I'm talking about the head coach. I'm talking about the players for the San Antonio Spurs. I'm talking about Victor Wembanyama. And then another team in the New York Knicks that this just might be their time. You got vets. You got guys who've been in the league for a long time. Sure. You got a head coach that's been around the coaching circle for a number of years in Mike Brown. It just felt like San Antonio made a couple just lethal errors towards the end of that game that should have tied the series one apiece, that could have kind of put this just newfound pressure on the New York Knicks. I mean, the game tonight would have had, it kind of been a little bit pins and needles. Instead, Victor Wembanyama makes a couple key mistakes.
Yeah, it was
and
a
Mitch
frustrating.
Johnson. I didn't like the decisions from the coach either.
I mean, they gave their foul to give, which then cost them when they turned the ball over and they fouled.
But I understood why they did that. It was too extreme of think about it. They made that foul and then they got the stop that they needed. They just didn't anticipate Wemby was going to throw to the back of one of his players and then foul Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that wasn't good. The final 2 field goal attempts from Wemby were awful.
The first one was awful.
The corner 3 and then the right wing extended jumper. You're 7'4.5". You have to do better than that. And yeah, is it likely going to cost them a chance to win the NBA Finals? Yeah,
it is.
Likely.
I thought that was the series.
Likely, it will cost.
I didn't like. I didn't like in that the second to final possession for the Spurs. You're talking about the Wemby shot. You can get that shot anytime you want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a good shot,
right?
And it's not a guarantee, and it's not a lock. I hate they didn't have action with De'Aaron Fox. I hate that they didn't do some type of screen and roll. The two of those players going towards the basket. They have no fouls to give. Put some pressure on the Knicks. You didn't have to put any pressure on the Knicks defensively. That final shot that he took, that Wemby took, to be honest with you,
it's a good shot. But he can do better.
But that one was kind of I thought it was going in.
Yeah, I did too.
That one he just missed.
Let's catch up with Kevin Acey, our Padres insider on the other side. Padres and Reds getting ready for game 1 down at Petco Park. Padres trying to get out of this skid where they've dropped 11 of 13. Kevin joins us on the other side, giving away Dave Chappelle tickets between now and 5:30. Stay with us. Schaefer and Slewa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. The Padres and the Reds are downtown at Petco getting set for game 1 of their series tonight. It's going to be Andrew Abbott going for Cincy and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Padres. First pitch is set for 6:40. We got NBA Finals Game 3 tonight from Madison Square Garden with Spurs taking on the Knicks. Tip-off of that game will be around 5:45. Grinding and squealing are signs it's time for new brakes. Skip the hassle of searching for the right parts and shop rockauto.com. Find trusted name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
All right, final hour here on Schaefer and Slew with San Diego Sports 760, and Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, back with us. Padres Reds game 1 from Petco coming up tonight at 6:40. It's deja vu all over again, Kevin. I mean, you're talking about it and writing about it each and every day. We're talking about it every day as well. I'll pose the first question like this because we spent a lot of time on it. The dichotomy or what's playing out between like Machado, who's hitting 169, and Tatis, who's had these blunders on the bases seemingly like every series over the last 3+ series. What's more problematic to you, like the baseball IQ or lack thereof plays that the Padres have experienced, or the fact that someone like Manny Machado at this point in the year has the lowest batting average in baseball among qualifiers?
Which one is more problematic is Manny. I mean, for sure. Now you could then make the argument that, oh no, he can't keep going like this because, the history and maybe, he's, falling off, but he's not 39. That's going to get better. That. So I guess if you were to say that there was low baseball IQ, then that would be a bigger problem. But listen, I cannot possibly get inside the head of a player like Tatis making some of the decisions that he's made here recently, like yesterday, other than to say, look, this guy has shown a very high baseball IQ. I think that there have been numerous examples of their pressing having at the plate, and then other people, like maybe pitchers even, pressing because of what's happening at the plate, that like it gets into Tatis's head. He's on second. It's like, well, maybe I can make something happen here. Maybe there's a throw in the left field and we score, because we're sure as hell aren't going to score by someone getting a hit. Or maybe, I get there in position for a pass ball or a wild pitch. These things that now, if we step back, if Tatis steps back, he goes, that doesn't make any sense. But when you're in the moment and you're trying to make something happen, like it's almost to me like the only explanation. It is a low baseball IQ play. I do not think it means Tatis or others have a low baseball IQ.
Sure. Yeah, Kevin, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. This is just kind of another sign of a little desperation, right? That nobody's confident that they're going to manufacture runs or somebody's going to get into they're going to have an inning where it's like at any time they could score 3-4 runs in an inning. I think there is some of these decisions are probably a little bit more desperation. I think there's always two ways to look at it. It's not uncommon in baseball for teams to go through a stretch where they're really struggling. It's not uncommon for teams to go through a stretch where maybe 11 of 13 is a lot, but hell, we've seen the Cubs lose 10 in a row. I think 2 different times win 10 in a row. Are you confident that this is just a kind of a rough patch for the San Diego Padres? Not that it can't happen again down the road, but are you confident things will start churning around for them?
Man, do I want to play it off for you and just have all the confidence in the world when I answer this and be like, yeah, I absolutely do. But that would be being disingenuous. And the reason I want to play it off like, yes, I have all the confidence in the world that it is an aberration and that they're going to be fine, is because I kind of do think they are going to be, because it can't be this bad, at the risk of sounding like Manny in Philadelphia last week, where he said it couldn't get worse. Like, it just can't be this bad. There's just no way that these 3 guys, who are a huge part of the problem, can continue to be this bad. There just isn't. I know that AJ Preller is going to make some moves, or at least that's the plan as of now, because they don't believe they're going to continue to be this bad. So I believe they're going to be better and they're going to challenge for a playoff spot. But how in the world could I sit here in the middle of this with a litany of things that we don't even have time to talk about, they're going wrong, and say with utmost confidence that I feel that Plus, every time we're in this, whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, whether you're a media member, whether you're a coach, a manager, the biggest thing you have to do is to remind yourself that it's not as bad as it seems 99% of the time. But then you're also like, well, what if this is the 1% of the time? What if Manny, it never gets better because he's going to be 34 pretty soon. Oh my gosh. And you start to think about all these different things. What if Jackson Merrill was completely overrated by everyone on the planet? Oh no, because that's what it looks like and feels like right now. But my very long, short answer to you is I do think it's going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine that it doesn't, playing at this clip, to be quite honest. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider with us right now on Schaefer and Sliwa. I haven't heard your reaction, Kevin, on if you've had any, in terms of what Manny had to say about the role that analytics plays in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, Manny, listen, here's the deal. Manny talks out of his ass so much, because he has to talk all the time. I'm sorry, he just does, just like a lot of people do. Look, when I got to talk to my wife all the time, I talk out of my ass sometimes. I just look, come on. He had some merit to it. There is some merit to it. There is some thought that there's a little too much, just go play. I think that there is some merit there. So maybe I'm sloughing it off too much because I have, and by the way, I compliment Manny more than implement his baseball IQ and for the insight he can give you. But then he also is asked to talk a lot. So he does just say things sometimes. And then you can egg him on and get him to say things. And then he's feeling himself and he says some more. And I believe that's what was happening in that time. That doesn't mean that he didn't have some genuine thoughts in there about how this has all just become a little ridiculous. And we're being asked to think about an awful lot of stuff. I don't know, and it has been my goal for the last several weeks, actually, to find out how much of a role that is playing in the Padres' struggles. I don't have an answer for you because some people in this organization will tell you that it does, and some people will tell you that it doesn't. So I don't have a definitive answer for you, if that's what you were getting at, as to are these guys getting too much information? Because I don't believe they're getting any more information than people on other teams.
Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Kevin, do you expect any change if we're still sitting here in the next couple of weeks, 30 days? Do you expect, and you can take this any way that you want, a change with the hitting coach, or the change with the lineup, or change with the roster, or change? Just do you reach a point where you have to say to yourself, well, we got to do something different? Do you expect something that, I don't know if drastic, I don't want to sound too dramatic here, but do you expect some type of change because of the trajectory of where it's heading right now?
So you said originally a month from now, and you said sitting here. And so if they are sitting here a month from now and their batting average has continued to plummet like this, and now they're down at 204, I don't see how there's not some sort of drastic change, even if you were to be the biggest believer in the world in Steven Souza Jr. or whatever, right? As of now, I believe, based on people I'm talking to and the things that they're saying, that there is not a plan to make a change. That this is a matter of, that's not to say that the hitting coaches, manager, everybody's been perfect, but that this is largely a problem of certain players not hitting. And it's not because suddenly they started listening to Steven Souza Jr. and he turned Manny Machado wrong. And so I don't believe that as of now, there are changes in the works, that's not what they're thinking. I mean, you talk about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, it's this bad? It's almost like, it'd be hard for me to understand how there couldn't be changes just for the sake of change at that point. And, you can argue the merits of those, right? But AJ Preller's only done that. I think you could only argue he's done it once. I bet you he'd push back on me, as he probably has. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach of 2021, it felt like a change to make a change. And because their pitching staff was just falling apart at that point. But that's not AJ's way to make a change to make a change.
Good insight from Kevin Acee, our Padres insider. You've covered Craig Stammen for such a good amount of time in terms of him either being a player for the Padres or now obviously managing in the organization. Do you have a feel for how he would handle this type of adversity? Just as that's the one thing with managing. I guess the same thing with playing. You're going to deal with adversity as well. But Mike Schilt never really dealt with this. They didn't have a 2-11 stretch. They never lost more than 5 consecutive games. The ship got righted more in those 2 years than it is right now under Craig Stammen. How is he dealing with this?
Well, Jurickson Profar and Luis Ariz were having, their usual, or I should, Jurickson was having a career year, and Luis Ariz came in 2024 and had a great year. Last year, they sucked for 60 games. But yes, and I talked about this and I've tried to make this point. Like Mike had it, he managed every game like it was Sunday in the NFL, and there was just something to that. And whether that was, pulling the right trigger to the right lever in the second inning of a game that scored them a run and they won 2-1 or 1-0 or something. And it was like, yeah, he just had that knack. He did. He was an excellent game manager. He really was. So, I don't have a definitive answer for you on what Craig could have done. I can't prove a negative. I know that Craig had a team meeting in Washington. He didn't turn over any tables or anything. He said, you guys aren't playing the way that we're supposed to. They went over why. Players agreed. They've lost, is it 6 or 7, 5 or 6 since then?
Right.
And they're, facing Andrew Abbott tonight. I don't get betting advice, but don't be betting on too many hits tonight. I don't know what Craig could have done more. Did Craig make some curious decisions in the Washington series? Yeah, he did. He's made some other curious decisions, like keeping Freddie Fermin in to hit, and he hit a home run, the one them game. I don't have that. I agree with you. I mean, Mike was amazing that way, and was a really good game manager. I don't know what Craig could do to keep Manny Machado from watching or fouling off or missing fastballs down the middle. I don't, and I'm not trying to dismiss the question by saying that, but it's like, are you kidding me? If Manny had his normal numbers against fastballs in the zone, like, we wouldn't be having this conversation. There's just no way we would.
Kevin, final one from me. Walker Buehler, his last 5 starts, St. Louis gave up 2 runs. Seattle gave up 2 runs, 3 against the Athletics, 2 against Philadelphia, and then 1 against the Phillies as well. I played them 2 of his last 2 starts, both against Philadelphia. He's been really nice. I mean, just your thoughts on what he's been able to do for the Padres and how he can help try to kind of change the tide a little bit tonight.
Well, he used to be a team stopper, when he was back before the second Tommy John. Elo's up. He's got a that he's a bulldog. I'm enjoying the heck out of watching him pitch and figure out how to pitch and watching him get better. And then also what he says, like, guys just completely unafraid to say anything. And I think that, I find him fascinating. I think he's good. And I think he's a real find. And I'm going to put him on the list of things that if they don't turn this around, it's going to be a real shame, because they went out and they got a couple guys, right, that have helped them, or they kept a couple guys or whatever. And so it really sucks that for them that certain guys aren't performing like they're supposed to.
We'll see if it turns or not. A couple of teams, as we said earlier, heading in the same direction. San Diego and Cincinnati meet tonight in game 1 of a 3-game series. Kevin, appreciate you doing it. We'll catch up with you on Wednesday.
Right on. See you.
All right, great stuff from Kevin Acey. I think maybe near a clubhouse or inside the building tonight down at Petco Park. So with all that being said, should the Padres, in fact, really be buyers, as Dennis Lin was running about earlier today in The Athletic? We'll explore that to a greater degree on the other side. Plus, give away tickets to see Dave Chappelle here in San Diego at Viejas Arena. If you want those tickets, open the iHeartRadio app right now. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback microphone and tell us who wins and why tonight between the Knicks and the Spurs in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Do that right now. We'll announce the winner on the other side, right here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so I want to mention Mary because this is very kind. And
what a good life you're living here.
She's done this over the years. She has brought me our program director, Mary Ayala. Look at this cake, which you can't see on radio, but you can on YouTube.
Yep.
I would describe it as what is this? Like a 6-inch diameter.
It's a good size cake.
It's like a medium. I like the size of this cake.
I'll describe the size of it. You just stop right there. It's a good size cake. It's maybe a chocolate Oreo there. What do you got there?
Really like.
Chocolate chip, Oreo.
So here's my question.
Very nice. Yeah.
Right. You're going to want a piece of this? Alan, you want a piece of this?
Yeah. Well,
I'll bring the rest home for my wife. And
Yeah.
You know me, I'm not a big dessert guy, but this looks amazing.
Looks great.
This really looks good. All right.
It's very nice of her to do that.
Yeah. I'm waiting for, I know you have the big surprise, obviously, coming with all the plans and all the
Brent and I all
yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Brent, you said 6:05, right? 6:05.
All right. So I'm looking forward to all the guests and the presents that are coming in.
Between 6:05 and 8:30, right around there. We're just waiting to get a confirmation. Wait for a confirmation text back.
Okay, I'll be waiting for that. We are going to announce a winner of these Dave Chappelle tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So Brent, let us know once you have that winner. You're still eligible, by the way, to win those tickets. We'll announce a winner in 5 minutes. All you have to do literally right now is open the iHeartRadio app and search for San Diego Sports 760 and tell us who's going to win Knicks Spurs Game 3 by clicking the red talkback mic. Do we have one that we want to play here? Let's play one right now. We'll announce that winner coming up in 5 minutes. And again, you're winning Dave Chappelle tickets. So get on the iHeartRadio app right now. If you want Dave Chappelle tickets, tell us who's going to win, like this listener did.
Hey guys, it's Robert in Chula Vista. Prediction for tonight: the Spurs wake up and they'll take this one at New York, and they'll make a series out of it. All right, that's my 2 cents. Thanks. Bye.
That's my burner voice.
Shout out to Chula Vista right there.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were from. I didn't know you lived in Chula Vista.
I do now.
Man, I'm hoping. It would be so great.
I don't want a 3-0 series, dude. There's been so much anticipation and hype for the NBA postseason. Nobody needs 3-0 right now.
We needs 3-0. And the Knicks aren't 3-0 better than the Spurs, but they're about to be.
I always love that. I always love that.
Because I think they're going to win tonight.
You kind of are who you think that it's going to be hard, obviously, for the Spurs in that environment against a team they've already lost to. So this environment is ridiculous.
Here's the only thing that I think San Antonio has going for them. The only thing that they have going for them. A lot of pressure on the Knicks, like, hey, don't screw this up.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. That's how I feel.
Don't be like the San Antonio Spurs and choke it away in front of your fans.
Dude, you know what I found interesting? Did you hear this? We don't have the audio, but I just thought about it when you said it.
Yep.
It was basically, I'm paraphrasing. Wemby basically, and again, I'm paraphrasing, said, I haven't yet really come, like, I was ill-prepared for dealing with the high of winning Game 7 at Oklahoma City, which is humanistic. How do you you're a 22-year-old, you have the high of that, and then you have to refocus. And he admitted they haven't refocused well enough.
I think a lot of people were getting, there were a good amount of people that have been in the league or they're experts or whatever the case is that looked at San Antonio celebrate against OKC and said, hey, it looked like they won a championship. But everyone took that as a negative thing.
Yeah.
No, these youngsters have never been this far. They just took down the defending champs. They're getting to the NBA Finals. Like, that was an incredible moment for them. The difference is they've just never been there before. So if the same, let's say they lost to the, let's say they lost to the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And next year they're in the Western Conference Finals again, and they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Their celebration is going to be a lot different. It's just that kind of comes with the territory. You know, if you've never been there before, we've watched, I'll use a Padre example. In 2022, when they beat the Dodgers.
Great example.
It looked kind of like a World Series celebration. Look at all the San Diegans. It looked like a World Series celebration. Oh, you know who you got next? You got the Philadelphia Phillies, and you're still 2 rounds away from winning a World Series. There's a little bit of this, just when people say act like you've been there before.
But they haven't been there.
But what if you've never been there before?
Here's my concern from the Spurs perspective. We'll get to the Padres, are they buyers or not, coming up at 5:30. Here's my concern for the Spurs, Alan, seriously. If they don't win this series, which they're now obviously heavily favored not to do.
Yeah, I think they got like a 20% odds.
Okay, so there's a very good chance they don't win the series, obviously. They're trailing 2-0. Is it as simple as, well, they're just going to be right back 7 more times with Wemby? Maybe. I'm telling you,
Injuries?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. His body.
Him.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Western Conference isn't a cakewalk, even with an experienced Victor Wembanyama. It's not going to be. So maybe it's the beginning of a run like last year. Maybe it was the beginning of a run for Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not, is all I would say.
They are very, very, very well positioned for years to come.
I agree.
And they ran well. And they will be better. But health, like anybody, the difference is like, you look at, I know what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is when I look at LeBron's body in 2010, like the guy's a tank, right?
Yeah.
And he's like proportionate. His body is proportionate. Yeah. Wemby, you always are concerned. Even a guy like Chet, like there's certain guys that just have their body type. You're like, hey, does that hold up? Hopefully, obviously, that's not an issue.
And that coupled with the Western Conference, it's not just going to be like the Western Conference bows down collectively.
Brother, the Knicks may never get back.
That's another good point.
Like this is one of those cash in when you can, and you just never know.
It's 100% true. Yeah. All right, Brent, do we have a winner? Off the talkback mic, we will on the other side announce the winner of a pair of tickets to see Dave Chappelle at Viejas Arena.
Whoever wins, you're taking me with you. Okay,
I like
you
that.
get one ticket. You and I are going together.
We're going to see Dave Chappelle. No, you actually get 2 free tickets. We'll announce the winner on the other side. Plus, should they actually be buyers at the deadline or not? Dennis Lin from The Athletic weighing in. We'll discuss it on the other side. Getting you ready for Padres and Reds and the NBA Finals Game 3 on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. The Padres and Reds are downtown at Petco getting set for game 1 of their series tonight. It's going to be Andrew Abbott on the hill for the Reds and Walker Buehler going for the Padres. First pitch is set for 6:40. NBA Finals Game 3 from Madison Square Garden is about 15 minutes or so away from tip between the Spurs and the Knicks. Spurs trail 2-0. A failed strut can turn any drive into a rough ride. When it's time for repairs, Rock Auto makes finding the right part easy. Shop name brands at lower prices and have parts shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
All right, we're going to get into what Dennis Lynn had to say about the Padres in terms of buying or selling. But first, Alan is going to read words.
Our Heart Radio Music Festival is back, and you could win your way. You could win your way in before you actually buy them. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Listen to win tickets before you can buy them, including airfare and hotel accommodations in Vegas, plus $1,000. Next chance to text in and win happens around 6 p.m. And our exclusive Capital One cardholder pre-sales starts Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Brent, do we have a winner? We do. All right. Are we going to play? Are we going to play the talk back or are we going to announce the winner? We'll play the talk back. So we asked our listeners to weigh in who wins game 3 tonight between the Spurs and the Knicks. And we've got a winner off the talkback, Mike, for these Dave Chappelle tickets. Let's play the talkback.
The Knicks are going to win tonight because Steve Hartman predicted as much on the midday show Friday. Darren Smith deserves this. And together, Ben Stiller and his dad, Jerry, are about as funny as Dave Chappelle.
Look at that. That's a very good talkback. And that's the winner of the Dave Chappelle tickets.
That's Tom.
That's Tom?
Go work, Tom.
Congrats. By the way, Dave Chappelle coming to VA House June 21st. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Get yours before they're gone. So you just missed your shot. I just took the worst shot in the history of this this show. Well, you know how sometimes the professional golfers, even them, they well, they don't usually miss the ball, but sometimes they'll shank the thing.
John, what was
Did you see Wemby in the corner? He was off the side of the backboard.
John, were you spearfishing?
I don't know, dude.
That thing went directly.
I'm trying to do a lot of things.
I get that.
I'm celebrating my birthday.
But it went directly to the ground.
I know. Yeah. My crumpled up piece of paper didn't make it anywhere near.
You ever see those?
Trash bin.
You ever see those? Somebody throwing out the first pitch?
Oh, some of the awful ones, of course. That was that. That would have been viral. That would have been viral. I want to get into this. You have somewhere you want to go with the Dennis Lynn article. I have something also I want to share with you, but you take it away and then I'll go where I want to go with it.
All right. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. Last week we had the conversation about, are the Padres, you buying at the deadline, you selling at the deadline. Tark Skubal, that name kept coming up. All right, I don't think that's going to happen, nor do I think.
Neither do I.
Now, listen, if the Padres were 10 games over 500, we can have a legitimate conversation. The sad thing is 2 weeks ago, they were 10 games over 500. Obviously, that's not the case. They're in a weird spot because if I told you this, if I said that they got a chance to make a wild card, and right now they're a half game from a wild card spot. Not because they're playing good baseball, because everybody else in the NL also sucks other than the top 3 teams for the most part. And you're starting to kind of ask this question of all right, do you put any more investment into this team? What do you think the goal was coming into this season? Because for me, I'm going to tell you the same goal that I had last year as well.
It's fair. It's to make the postseason as a wild card team. It's not be the 1 seed and win 103 games.
Make the postseason as a wild card and take your chances.
Yeah.
We sit here today.
Still very possible.
So, how do you balance of how aggressive they should be? And I think the good news is you don't have to worry about that today. Nobody needs to make a decision by June 8th. And I do think there will be some clarity in the next 30 days of what you should do. But
here's what you do. And I'm glad you mentioned June 8th, which is my birthday. Here's how you make a determination, because we know, Alan, on June 8th that their only path is through the wild card. We all can definitively say this.
And we probably always knew that.
I know, but we can say
Yeah.
it. So here's how you approach the trade deadline, which will come. You approach it prudently because the only guarantee you have, the best case, is a best of 3 series. The best case is a home best of 3 series. I'm here to tell you right now, I hate to be Debbie Downer. That's very challenging. And there's a lot of reasons that I should be saying
challenging to have three
host.
home. Yeah.
It's going to be very challenging because you have a team like Philadelphia that's playing very well, that has resources and investment, and they're not the only team that's capable in the National League. Look at the Chicagos, the St. Louis's, the Arizonas.
Yeah.
So you're chasing 4 teams for that home wild card series. My point is, you're right back where you were last year. Not to say you can't win that series on the road. It is possible. But how much are you willing to invest in the only guarantee being, in a best case scenario, you're in the postseason and you're playing a 3-game series on the road? So I do it prudently is my point if I'm buying.
So if you're going to make changes, you're making small changes.
Yes.
Small tweaks. You're not giving up your entire farm system.
I'm not trading Ethan Salas to go. I mean, they traded Leo DeVries last year for this exact same scenario.
I know. And they traded, and as great as Mason Miller is, he's not even in a position right now. I mean, you've seen him twice over the last 13 games because they've won 2 of their last 13 games. And those were the only 2 games that he came in to save.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's I'll play out another scenario for you. All right. In 30, let's say in 45 days, by the time you get to the All-Star break, you're 4 games back from a wild card spot. What are you doing? 5 games back from a wild card spot. What are you doing?
I'd sell off. I'd hedge. What do I mean by it? I would sell off pieces where it makes sense to sell. I would backfill as appropriate. I wouldn't punt on everything. I'm not selling everything. It is possible to be overcome, but by then the trend lines would be really discouraging because you're going from a half game back to over the next 40 days losing ground, not gaining ground.
Sure.
But I don't think at that point they would I think at the end of the day, a leopard doesn't change his spots, but the owner might change his spots because you're going to have a new ownership group. So
that dynamic I'm fascinated by.
Well,
when is that official? When is that?
I mean, Rob Manfred was quoted within the last week of saying probably this summer. So we don't even know if it happens by the deadline. But listen to this sentence in Dennis's article that I wanted to share with you that somehow we haven't touched on. And tell me what you make of this fully. This is the sentence. There is no guarantee that Feliciano and Jones will go into next year with an inherited general manager whose default setting, regardless of his job security, is aggressiveness. Is he saying there's no guarantee that they allow him to be aggressive? Or is there no guarantee that he will be the general manager? Remember, he's weeks removed from signing a multi-year extension. Weeks. 10, 11 of them. Let me read it again. There's no guarantee that Feliciano and Jones will go into next year with an inherited general manager whose default setting, comma, regardless of his job security, comma, is aggressiveness. Are we saying he's got the security?
Sounds like he's got the security.
But we don't know if he's got the default aggressiveness under this group.
By the way, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I think there is a piece of this. Right now, AJ Preller has been allowed to do whatever he wants. And there was ownership in the past where the owner was just as aggressive. Peter Seidler was the engine to kind of allow this thing. Hey, let's be very aggressive. My goal is to win a World Series. I want to do, this is how I'm going to do it. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the finances. We'll pay for those bills later. That's not common in ownership, right? I think Peter Seidler was very unique, and it also depends on the market. They may be looking at this, and again, I'll go back to this. When new ownership, I want to see responsible owners. And you could define responsible owners any way that you want. But to me, responsible owners is, how do we win based off of who we are, the market that we're in? How important is the farm system to our success? How important is to be, I think AJ Preller is probably better when he has less money to work with because I think he could be more creative. I don't think AJ Preller, sign Xander for X amount of dollars, sign Machado for X amount of dollars. What's special about that? That's not necessarily special. I think AJ Preller is better when he can kind of find some diamonds. I think there's a little bit more from that perspective.
I like the angle of like, I want to see ownership invested, but not only with dollars. I want to outsmart rooms. You know,
that's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, and there's a level of spending prowess. We don't know how the sport changes. By the way, there may be an equalizer when it comes to spend in general. Maybe that is beneficial or not for the Padres. but it's time to outsmart and outspend. And by the way, I think Preller at times has done that. And I do think it's fair right now to also be critical of Preller. There have been good moments. How does he not get a portion of the blame for the way the team has played? Of course he should. Of course he should bear some of that. So this is all going to be fascinating, dude. The ownership hasn't taken place as of yet. Preller at this deadline and moving forward. I mean, this is a fascinating time. I don't know if it's a great time, but it's a fascinating time, I think, in the history of the Padres with everything that's going to be coming down the pipeline in the days, weeks, and months ahead.
Can I give you some kind of change the subject a little bit here?
Yeah.
How much do you pay attention to run differential? Do you care?
Yeah, I think it's an
don't
indicator.
pay attention.
I think by and large it tells you something.
Bro, this is so wild in the National League, okay? The Atlanta Braves plus 116.
Okay.
Let me give you
116 plus 116.
I'll give you the top 3 teams in the NL, okay?
Yeah.
Atlanta's plus 116 runs.
Yep.
The Dodgers plus 133 runs.
Wow.
And the Milwaukee Brewers plus 105 runs.
Wow. All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Look at the drop. Okay. St. Louis is the 4th best record in the NL, -2. Philly, 3rd best record, 4th best record, -19.
San Diego, what, -8, 10, 12?
Arizona, -10. Padres, -18. The 3.
Yeah, they're running away with it.
They're not even. I don't even know if they know what a close game is.
Right.
Like they're crushing teams, and then but what's surprising too is you also have a handful of teams there
They're very similar.
that are all.
But
very
does
similar.
that also lead you down a path of why are you chasing it if it's going to be hard? Like, are these teams
Pirates
so
are plus
clearly
30?
Are those 3 teams though so clearly better than the rest? Just hypothetically speaking, that again, are you going to be able to compete with them even if you do make the postseason in a best of 3, 5, or 7 game series?
You might just to kind of. If AJ Preller is aggressive, it might simply just be you almost like don't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
They're almost as if, look, this thing's going to come crashing down at some point, and we're just trying to keep it in flight for as long as we can until we know, like, yeah, that's it. That window is done. And by the way, this could be the final year, maybe in the summer, or I'm sorry, maybe next season, they start selling off all these assets and everything else. But if they do stay in it, it's probably because they feel like they don't have a choice.
Do you want to see the same level of aggressiveness from AJ Preller this trade deadline compared to what he did last year and in previous years or not? We can discuss that on the other side. Plus, Game 3 about to get underway between the Knicks and the Spurs. We're here until 6 p.m. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. I'm going to giveaways
trying to watch a freaking game
Watching
here.
Knicks Spurs underway. Padres Reds about to get underway. Great giveaways all week long on 760 here on Schaefer and Sliwa. We're talking about tickets to see Chris Stapleton at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets to see Dave Chappelle at Viejas Arena.
Let's go.
You can win those tickets all week long right here on Schaefer and Sliwa. All right, so Spurs and Knicks game 3. Dare I call it a must-win game for the Spurs? I don't see them coming back from 3-0 down. So I would call it a must-win game.
Your boy's struggling.
Who?
Fox.
De'Aaron Fox.
Already missed 2 shots, couple turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I feel like I feel decent about the Spurs tonight, Alan. I really do.
Offensive foul.
Yeah, I feel decent about the Spurs.
Did you see De'Aaron Fox's contract?
What do you mean? Did I see it? Like, am I privy to like
what it kicks into after this year?
Is it affordable? Is it like a
there's
1 year,
only
$2 million
50s
deal?
and 60s?
So okay, he's guaranteed how much more from Santa? 4 more years, $50+ million every year.
I'll give you the exact numbers.
Dude, I wish I played in the NBA.
Honestly, I think you still.
Do you think I could still maybe?
How old are you?
46 today. I know you have the plans coming.
And I've seen,
yeah,
maybe you can.
Yeah, I could still
I think more as like a, probably just like a fan. All right, here's his numbers. Ready? Yeah, quick. 4-year, 229.
Dude.
Just a quick little 51 to a 55 to a 59 to a 63 for De'Aaron Fox.
Can I make a quick point to you, dude?
That's not good money.
I thought about this. I thought about this no joke in the shower last night. This is a weird thing to think about, but I'm going to share it with you.
You've worked with him a lot longer than I have. Where's he going? Where's he going?
Here's where I'm going.
I thought about this in the shower, and he's
listen to this.
Looking at me.
If you made $150,000 a year, for 40 years, basically the average length of a career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that's $6 million in your career? If you made $150,000 a year, which by all intents and purposes is a very successful earning career, right?
It's a good career.
There's middle relievers right now that are making $6.1 million and more per year. That would surpass what you would make in a 40-year career making $150,000 a year. Machado, I mean, when you start doing the math on it. So if the average American, and that's high, but let's just say somebody made $6 million in their 40-year career. Machado's making what? In the AAV is what, 35 a year, whatever it is. He's making $6 million a month.
Who was it breaking this down? I'm forgetting who broke it down.
But you reminded me of it with De'Aaron Fox.
There was an NBA player that made a decent amount of money in his career. And you know how people always say, like, hey, how did this guy go broke? How did this NBA player go broke? You know who it was? I think it was Lou Williams was on a podcast. And he just went into like the absolute details of it. He's like, let's say I made $30 million in my career. Yeah. And he's like, all right, just so you know, 15 is already gone.
There's the age in.
But then he goes and then he like breaks down another layer and another layer. And then there's this like NBA pie that you have to give into for when you retire and stuff like that. And
so you're saying they don't make money?
And then and then he kind of broke down. He's like, and then this person is saying, I'm gonna go buy this, and then I'm buying my mom a house and this and all that stuff. He's like, trust me when I tell you, not to sympathize with it, but he said, trust me when I tell you, that money will go quick. Now, of course, it's not about how much you make; it's about how you spend it. So,
well, here's where I think I was going.
Why is everybody standing up? Sit down.
Because it's Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and the first Finals game in New York since '99. Wow. Here's what I'm going to say to you.
Okay.
It had to do with the financials of sports, and I forget what it was, but it was very like. Oh, here's what I was going to say. What did you buy me for my birthday? Or where are we going after this? Because I mean, you're a max contract guy.
Yep.
Mary got me this cake.
Yep.
So
I mean, do we tell him now or do we wait? I'd rather wait because I'm like more of like an anticipation guy.
11:59 tonight. Right as the day's turning to June 9th.
When are we telling people how random
our upcoming trip is?
I genuinely don't think anybody's going to believe this. Remember when Mike saw what you were doing? We were at our broadcast in Otay at Novo, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think most people are going to believe us. When do we want to tell that
story? You can share right now if you want.
All right. So this was about a week and a half ago.
Maybe share it tomorrow.
Week and a half ago, you said,
"Yeah,
hey, I got an idea," and not even sure if you were actually inviting me or you were more just kind of talking it through to kind of convince yourself. I wasn't even taking an invite.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
This is what friends do.
Yeah.
We ended up booking. We're
Brad
going
will be shocked by
somewhere.
this.
We're going somewhere. I want to tell the rest of it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
But you and I are randomly going
Out of the
somewhere
country
together
for a weekend. That might give it away. I
don't think it will.
I mean, it's not like it's such a big surprise that like we can't tell our listeners, but I feel like we could.
No, because I want to go through the story. Yeah,
why don't we share it at 5:45 tomorrow? We'll have 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, we'll tell you what we're doing. But we are.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm thrilled about it. I think it's gonna be awesome. Just a quick 2-night jaunt.
You would have thought like we grew up together.
We did,
and we've known each other
spent our
for
40s together.
27 years.
Yeah, that's exactly
based on the trip that.
Yeah, we're about to have. I agree with that. I'm looking forward to it. All right. If you missed anything today, you've missed my birthday. Also, you can find the show on the iHeartRadio app, also where you get your podcasts. And we're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. with great giveaways, including tickets to see Dave Chappelle and Chris Stapleton, not together, but tickets to see those acts.
Performing together?
In San Diego. Dave Chappelle, not with Chris Stapleton. All right. For Brent and Alan, I'm John. Keep it here. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Peace.